Leonis, well done.
Thank you, thank you. That was actually not that far from my PB. Well, it's sure really far away, but...
So yeah, I'm currently in what I personally consider to be the longest fight in the game. This is a grind fight where I have to hit and miss 13 rounds in a row. Though this fight will guarantee me level 6, which means we're practically done with grinding altogether.
Hello, Duders.
Hey,
Hello.
Crack, welcome.
Hey, Crack.
Hello. Hey, Neros. Hey, Crack. I just wanted to first off say thank you to Leonis and Nikki Knoll for running FF1. Both fantastic runs. And also
thank you, thank you Double and Rory for the amazing commentating session. And a round of thanks for Sevens, Maelstrom, Sereth, and once again you, Rory, for the extremely good organization for this event. It's really a pleasure to be here this year as a very newbie speedrunner. And yeah, that was a blast. I'm super happy I went in there. So no regrets, all fun, and that was just cool.
Yeah, good job.
Alright, so now we're gonna hand on over the reins to our two runners for Final Fantasy II, any percent for the PSP. We have on Team Chocobo, we have Crrool, and on Team Mog, we have Deln, along with their commentary team of the lovely Nerosaurn and Crack Attack. So I'll probably be here every now and again between runners, just introducing people. So until then, that's it from me and Double, and also Leo and Nikki. So goodbye.
Yeah, I'm gonna take off as well. Thanks,
Goodbye,
thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you once again.
Also, I'd like to wish good luck to both Deln and Crrool.
Thank you.
May FF2 not be FF2 to you.
You better rock
Thank
this
you very
out.
much.
And good luck, Crrool, as well.
So yeah, I'm almost at the point where I'm about to get the Mithril here. I've been missing a lot of moves, and luckily we can stop doing that very, very soon. At this point, the bigger packs like this don't matter as much as long as they don't actually end up killing a party member of mine, which they have definitely done in the past. Their bow attacks can be particularly scary because they can actually hit on the back row, and I don't particularly have a lot of health to work with here. Yeah, that's okay. So, after this fight, I will only need to do 2 more fights before I would hit the required level, so to speak.
One big difference between the route Crrool does and Deln does, which I want to point out right now, is Deln will do encounter management or step routing, which means he knows when the encounters are coming. He does not know which encounter he will get.
Yeah, so basically how that works in this game, when you start a new game, you basically get a... or for every step you take afterwards, you move one more spot in the cycle, so to speak. And so by not taking any missteps, you could theoretically manipulate where you were to get the encounter. I know Deln does that pretty far into the game, actually.
He does it for the whole game, yeah.
Yeah, I know he's routed full game. I don't think he's gotten a full game run of that yet, if I'm not mistaken. But I might be wrong there.
I'm not 100% sure, but I was with him for practice, and he did full game.
Yeah, usually if you do like one misstep, you can recover if you see it and you know what to do. But yeah, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, because the movement in both dungeons and towns is so quick, and you can't really afford a lot of missteps, it can be kind of difficult to keep track of it.
One of the things that the shield levels does for you is increases evasion percentage, and that's actually your chance to the turn order.
Yeah, as well as your chances of running away, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's kind of tied to agility and evasion percentage.
Okay,
I
so I'm
believe it's
coming
only
up.
Varian's agility, as I think it is. The other characters I don't think matter for their agility at all.
True. So I'm coming up on what is basically the first boss of the game. Getting unlucky and getting an ambush here, but he doesn't actually get the kill off. So this is where, okay, well, he did end up killing a character, but this is where you'll see how powerful the bare-handed skill is. Even though I'm not level 7 yet, I'm still 1 level off. I can still pretty much two-shot this, and then we can go ahead and grab the Mithril here.
Yeah, like these guys said earlier, the unarmed skills really well early on. There's no really good weapons you can get early on, so the fist is the best option for damage there. And then after that, you'll see pretty soon what they use.
So yeah, with that being done, I'm gonna head back to the starting town. Now that we have the Mithril, we can actually get that Mithril equipment, which should be nice, you know, get a bit of an upgrade. We don't really need the swords, but at least the shields are going to be helpful, as far as I can actually afford to get them. Now I do need to fight one more fight here, just to finish off grinding and actually get level 7 here, so I'm gonna do one more set of missing. While I'm assuming Deln in the meantime is getting the ring, or he may just have gotten it just now. Not really sure.
Yeah, he's heading back. So he's gonna start his grind pretty much right here. One of the problems, though, before you get to the first dungeon is some of these enemies can run away. If you're trying to grind them, it can be a problem if you're trying to get to level 3. And you can get unbalanced levels. You can have some party members at level 2, some at level 3. So it just helps to know what they're at.
Yeah, so if you get lucky, which I did get at the end, you can get all party members to be level, or either level 3 or all set as far in as they would be, like equally far in, which makes the grinding a bit easier. If it's not tied, it gets a little bit more tricky. It's still pretty easy to recover from it, but it's usually slow to do so. Or you just have to take a member being a level lower, which can be a bit annoying as well.
Can I steal a minute of your time?
Sure you can.
Beautiful, beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all enjoying the Final Fantasy Relay. I just want to thank Leonis07 and Nikki Noel again for their beautiful Final Fantasy 1 run. You're giving a little bit of feedback, Crrool. And I also want to give out shout-outs to Oasis for letting us borrow his RTMP server, Puexel for letting us host on the RPG Limit Break channel, and Nerm for some behind-the-scenes work. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all enjoying, and Crrool, Deln, good luck. Commentators, Crack, and Narrows, thank you, and have a good run.
Thank you, Seven.
Thank you, sir.
So I don't know if we already spoke about how evasion in this game works.
We've mentioned it a little bit, but go ahead and explain in more detail.
So what happens is every shield gives a amount of evasion depending on your level of your shield, and evasion actually doesn't do much except for determining your turn order, which means the higher your evasion is, the faster the character will be. Also, on down screen we saw a quote-unquote misstep, which is just to avoid one encounter. So, what happens will be the players will start equipping shields in main hand and shield head, and that's just to make every single character faster, which helps in the later game for just when they have to spam their tomes to kill enemies.
So yeah, when we or by equipping the shield on both slots, we completely we pretty much have a near guaranteed run chance depending on what shields we have. We use bucklers because it's a cheap early game shield that we can get. I'm going to be switching off to a Mithril shield if at all possible here. Going to... I think I have enough money to do so. Yeah, I have plenty.
Yeah, when he buys the Mithril shields or get golden shields later on, depending on what he does, he's going to have 99% evasion for the rest of the run, as we said. So that means he's pretty much set on all the gear he needs, almost. That's why leveling's so important early on.
So yeah, I just realized I had forgotten to learn Dreadnought earlier, so I had to quickly go back for it.
Oh yeah, that can waste a good minute or so if you miss it there.
So, something you may have noticed is there's a lot of keywords in this game, and the way that works, certain pieces you can only unlock if you have a certain keyword that you know. One very important one that's very easy to miss is the Dreadnought one there. I need to have that by the time I get to the next town, or the guard won't let me pass, and I wouldn't be able to continue the game. So it's not uncommon for you to find out by the time you're in Bafsk that you don't have that word, which means you have to backtrack all the way to that town and get it again. Luckily I realized in time that I didn't, so it was an easy fix in this case.
One thing I want to mention with Deln's step counter, I'm pretty sure he's still on track, is that some things, like when he's in the canoe, he won't get an encounter, and like we said earlier, it's based on the number of steps. So like, I think it's, for example, like a step 197 or whatever it is, would always be when you get an encounter.
Yeah, so if you're on the canoe at that point, you can just completely skip the encounter. Deln can use that to skip a couple encounters throughout the game, and mitigate things a little bit. I'll just have to beat through it by hand, so to speak.
Yeah, it's completely runnable without the step counter, for sure.
Even though routing the steps is kind of a mess, as I had to find out by myself. Also, you can see the players always have one character in the front row. Why? Simply because melee attacks can only hit the front row, and whenever the front row person dies, the ATB or the turn gets reset. So even if you get into a back attack and your front row person dies, you can act directly after the person dies. Which comes in pretty handy for the later fights.
Yeah, later on we can get some pretty nasty encounters, and you'll see, particularly at that point, that being able to not get attacked with most of the people is pretty much what keeps you alive. If that wouldn't be the case, a lot of enemies... Because you can see, you might have already noticed how frequent ambushes are in this game. So a lot of times an ambush would otherwise just simply be able to kill you. Luckily, because of that, if it were to kill a member, it's the one member in the front row, which it's generally not a big deal, because we generally run away very, very consistently, so we don't really need to worry about it too much.
Agility is definitely not worth raising. It's just have a chance to get it when you're hit, and it raises very, very slowly, so it's not worth it in the speedrun.
So I don't know how Crrool did the grinding. Did you use double shield?
No, I use single shield, single fist. Get both of them to level 7.
So there's another difference. Deln does use double shield right here for the grinding, which also means he has to unequip in fights one of his shields to even get the level ups.
Yeah, it's based on the last turn is what it level up. So if he has fist and shield at the end of the fight, that's what's going to level up.
Which also means he has to, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you, but which also means he has to do another menu right after the fight again. So it's only worth it if you really have a decent sped up menuing, otherwise you will lose time.
Yeah, you can't screw it up at all. Otherwise it's not worth it for sure.
So story-wise here, so we just at my end, we just found out that the Emperor basically has a giant war airship, and they've been going over destroying towns with it. Now, because in part because of that, the king just became very, very ill, and so Minwu is leaving our party in the hopes of being able to help the king along and help him, or at least ease his suffering as much as possible, and hopefully help him recover. I am forgetting fire tomes. What am I doing?
I don't even know this story at all. Did you get Mithril shields too?
Yeah. I did get some a Mithril shield earlier. So yeah, the fire tomes are gonna help me a lot in this next dungeon, just to kind of mitigate the enemies we find a bit. This is
why you're doing. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is the first time that we're actually going to be we're gonna start using spells a lot more to kill off enemies rather than just use our fists. Because a lot of the time, spells can help you kill off enemies a lot quicker, especially if they're big groups of them.
I was gonna say, money is pretty tight early on, so that's why you saw them do some extra encounters, even after they leveled up.
Yeah, later on in the game, we pretty much have as much money as we could ever hope for, but early on it gets very, very tight. I just want to point out something.
My PSP just died.
Oh, jeez.
Done with it?
This is really fun.
Really luck?
Really luck? I didn't even save, dude.
Oh boy.
Ooh, that is painful.
I don't even know why my PSP just closed by itself.
Get back in there.
Well, I'm trying.
You got this.
Hey, welcome to another 18 minutes lost because of random shit.
Cursing.
Done with it.
Yeah.
Deln is really good at this game, so he can probably catch up quite a bit too. Deln has been running this for a while.
Yeah, if he can get some decent RNG, then he has a good chance of still managing even with that time loss. It's still pretty painful to get that though. I wonder why it did that though. That seems weird.
Yeah, PSP is notorious for shutting off just randomly.
Yeah, I've never had it with my PSP that it did. Which is why I'm saying it's kind of weird that it did there, but...
Coming up to the Snowcraft minigame.
Yeah, so for those that have never seen this, this is gonna be fun. This is what I mentioned earlier with the mini game. I'm not particularly good at memory, so I'm gonna solve like 3 puzzles, see what we can get. Hopefully, I won't make too many mistakes. No.
Okay, so what he's gonna want to do is he's gonna want to get first place with 0 misses, which he is not doing right now.
No, as you can see, I am horribly bad at this mini game. That's well, we'll see if we can still do it though. That was 7 misses. That's a bit much, but
We'll see.
You got this. You got this. So for how many are you going for?
I want 3, and then I do 2 rounds of it. I do a bit more than most other runners do, because I like to play it a little extra safe for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the minimum, absolute minimum for a run is 2 wins, 2 0-miss wins. But usually 4 is safe, and yeah, 6 is safe, like you said too. And that will get you all the money you need for the rest of the run, pretty much. And if you do need gil later on, then you get it just from the fights anyway.
So yeah, you can see how horrible I am at this mini game. I mean, this is not gonna work. Hold on, I've got something. I got an idea here. Let's see if this works. Give me like 1 second. Okay.
Hold up, what are you doing here? This doesn't seem right.
Well, I mean, it is working, isn't it?
Wow, what did she do? Okay, so what happens here is there's a limited amount of memory patterns. So he just resets over and over and over and over again until he knows his first memory will be the next one, which he obviously wrote down or copied somewhere. And with it, now he can just finish every single memory without 1 miss.
He wants to make sure the timer's under every time, because if he doesn't get first place, he's not going to get the first place prize either, which is quite a bit more gil.
Which we obviously know from FF1 already. It's
Yep.
the same. And every time he gets 0 misses and first place gives him a huge amount of money plus an elixir, question mark? I believe
Yeah,
it's an elixir.
plus an elixir, which is actually, like, that's either a lot of additional safety, so I will try to keep a few, or I can use that to sell them for some additional money if I feel like I'm short at any point. Okay, and the last one. Okay, so yeah, that just about does it. So I now have about 240,000 gold. I have 6 additional elixirs, which does help quite a bit as well. And, well, I mean, at this point there's not a lot that can go wrong anymore. We've got plenty of money, we've got plenty of stuff to work with, and, you know, we should be able to beat the game with this kind of stuff. Now, it is kind of slow to go back for me and buy all of my healing stuff and additional spells and whatnot now, so we'll be doing that after this dungeon. First, we're gonna do one more dungeon. Get the Goddess Bell.
So in general, this game has a huge amount of backtracking.
Yeah, let me restate that actually. 240,000 gil. My apologies about that. That's that was well noted by chat. That's it is
Not much
good.
of a difference.
Not much.
This is the first dungeon where there's inescapable encounters, random encounters.
Yeah, so we'll see at times that I might eventually have to kill some enemies. Hopefully we'll get as few of those as possible. Like, the more, the worse, basically. The more things I have to kill, the slower it would be. But just hoping to get lucky here.
It's the grenades are inescapable, the deadheads only in floor 3.
Yeah,
It's weird, some of the encounters are like that. They're unrunnable on some floors, but you can run on them on others.
Yeah, and then there is like the combination of enemies matters as well. So for example, this deadhead zombie is an unrunnable version, whereas I would get deadheads alone, I would be able to run away from it. It depends on combination, floor, and dungeon. That's the one. Yeah.
Got you back.
So you might have also noticed I moved my fire spells to slot 1. That's just so I can mash through them much more efficiently there. And so far we're doing pretty well on unrunnables. I was doing a run yesterday where I had run out of fire tomes by the time I got to Borggan, which is the last fight of this dungeon that you need to do.
Yeah, there's not one, but 2 bosses in this dungeon.
Yeah, one of them is actually very, very annoying, where the other one is pretty much free. Okay, so this is an instance of me just being unlucky. Icicle Snowman, like, even though I can run very consistently, it's not 100%, especially since I'm still mostly carrying bucklers. I've got a Mithril shield on, but it's still a matter of hoping to run away.
And you'll see the reoccurring thing that we talked about earlier, where one party member is going to be in the front row and everybody else will be in the back. Usually it's the temporary party member is the meat shield, so they're pretty good for that.
Yeah, since my main party members never really got that amount of HP, it's usually better to have temporary members, like, for example, Joseph in the front row, because they actually have the health to actually tank it. Whereas my regular party members wouldn't have that just yet.
And whenever a party member joins, their stats are always going to be the same when they first join. It's not random based on your characters or anything like that.
Okay, so here we got a lot of beavers walking around, and those you can actually talk to the beavers. There's a conversation with the top left beaver, and it turns out Guy, who is dunked in this case, he can actually speak to beavers. He never really seems to be the smartest guy in general conversations, but apparently he can talk to animals, and they would tell me that there's a secret passage there. Now, I already know of that secret passage, so I'm just gonna skip talking to them altogether, because there's no real point in it.
You'll see that Deln actually got the keyword just a little earlier for Dreadnought and Airship. You can get it right after Minwu, right after you recruit him. You can either get it there or when you return.
Okay, so now I'm coming up on what is probably one of the more annoying fights. This is actually a boss that can hurt me a bit, so let's hope we don't get killed too much. It's fine if one of my members were to die off, as long as it's not 2 or more. Joseph not doing anything there. Joseph, he can actually damage them, but he needs a critical to do so. Very lucky fight there, not getting any deaths there.
Nice.
So we'll be moving on with 4 characters.
Yeah, another alternative is you can actually buy ice tomes. But that kind of costs some of your money early on, which is a problem.
Yeah, you can do it with ice tomes and then use that to kill them off. From what I've heard, it's about even time-wise, because you do have to get those tomes, and you know, as I mentioned, money is very, very tight at the early game. At this point, it wouldn't matter much, but when we started this, that was a different story. So I opted not to get those tomes and instead get a couple additional fire tomes and just do a little bit more leveling. It kind of works either way. I think in the GBA route, because of not having defend, it might actually be faster to get those tomes, isn't it?
I think it is, yeah. But it's not the end of the run. Okay, we got Borggan coming up right now. He dies really fast, too.
So yeah, I will save here, because I've been kind of doing a couple safety saves every now and then. This fight is completely free, honestly. As you'll see, so this is Borggan. He's kind of a general of the Emperor. He is kind of pathetic, though. As you can see, guy doing almost 500 damage, pretty much one-shotting him.
And he's down.
Now, before he actually dies off, because one punch can kill him off for some reason, but okay, he actually sets off a trap here. It turns out there's this giant boulder hidden there. And, well, we can't really outrun that. So Joseph jumping in the way, stopping the boulder, and making sure that we can escape alive.
I told you it was a meat shield.
Yep. He served us as our meat shield, and he died as our meat shield.
Poor poncho guy.
So Joseph, in the process, actually dying off. We see him die here, and he moves on to the next world. We can actually meet him again if we get to the Soul of Rebirth part, which is like the bonus part of the game. But for this run, we won't actually be getting that far. Okay, now let's make use of all that money we just got. We've got so much money lying around, we might as well start spending it. Let's head back to that last town we were in. What was it? That ice town? They probably have some good stuff to sell, right?
Stuff for the run, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll just go to their shops, see what they have. Maybe we can think of something cool on the way.
Deln is doing pretty good this time around. He's getting pretty good luck. Sometimes, like when you're doing the first dungeon, you can just have characters killed and then obviously waste time because you have to menu. Luckily, when you have Minwu, he can restore. He has life and he has cure, so it's not the end of the run if anybody dies there.
No, but you can lose minutes to stuff like that if you get very unlucky. Okay, so let's see. Ooh, we have an item shop here. Let's see what they sell. High
Overall,
potions could be useful.
can just be brutal in this game.
Oh, absolutely. This is probably one of the most RNG-heavy Final Fantasies, at least in terms of the speedrun. And I don't think casually is a whole lot better. So yeah,
Especially
basically...
because casually you can't really over-level.
So basically what I bought there is, first of all, I bought 99 teleport tomes, which are going to be very, very helpful in killing off bosses. Teleport, or bosses and random encounters for that matter. Teleport is a instant death move we get to use. Very useful stuff. We also got a bunch of high potions and Phoenix Downs. Now you might remember from FF1 the Phoenix Downs restoring life, and the high potions obviously to just restore some health if need be. That way we won't have to use Cure anymore.
Yeah, you don't really have the time to level MP with Cure, so it's not worth it. The high potion's way better for menuing.
Crack is on his way to level 7 shield and barehanded.
Did you say Crack? Or did you mean Crrool?
No, I mean Deln. God damn it.
Oh, dope. We're both wrong.
So yeah, I'm doing a bit of a sidetrack here. So this is not commonly done in the run, but it does make things a lot more marathon safe. I'm taking about a minute and a half detour, and that's just to get more fire tomes. I had 5 left, but 5 isn't a lot for the next 2 dungeons combined, which is how much I would have to do before I could buy even more. I could use teleport, but that does end up being very slow. So just taking it very safe there and getting a couple additional ones just to help me along a bit.
Yeah, fire has a slightly faster animation.
Yeah, not to mention
it really adds up.
Yeah, not to mention it's very, very consistent in killing enemies, whereas teleport, you're basically gambling on a certain chance. And after that, we're going to move on to Cassuan Keep. So it turns out we need in order to destroy that giant war machine, the Emperor build, we can use Sunfire. It turns out, like, if we throw Sunfire into the engine, it would kind of overload, so to speak, which would destroy the entire thing in general. That could be useful, but in order to get that, we need to get through here, for which we needed the Goddess Bell. Now, as soon as we enter the door, we meet up with Gordon. It turns out he actually thought of the exact same plan, so everything we did this past hour is practically useless, actually. He could have just told us of his plan, and we would have been okay. But Gordon, being a bit of a jerk like that, he decided to keep that from us. He's gonna join our party at least, so it turns out we have a new meat shield. That could be useful.
He's also a spoony bard of sorts.
Kinda, yeah. He does give us a new shield, the bronze shield, which could help us a bit in the long run, I guess. And with that, we're gonna move on through Cassuan Keep.
You'll notice with the tomes, whenever they use the tomes, they're always going to be the same level. So I think Fire's level 7 and Teleport's level 8 whenever they use the tomes.
Yeah, something like that. The level is set depending on what tome you use. Now, naturally, the game doesn't assume you're able to buy 99 of them, but I mean, we could, so we might as well.
And as you can imagine, the Undead are weak to fire here too.
Yep, so we pretty much just one-shot them using fire spells. Whereas with Teleport, I would have to hope that I would get them in one hit. It's not guaranteed. So yeah, just doing some menu optimization there. And then moving on through the dungeon. Were-rats are also a very interesting encounter. Were-rats are unrunnable, at least for now. Since there is 2 of them, it's faster for me to teleport, generally. Were-rats can be killed with 2 fire tomes, but since there's 2, I'm using teleport and just hoping I get the one-shot. They did poison Gordon, which I'm not really going to care about. I'm just going to keep moving. Just gotta take the annoying sound for what it is. I think this is runnable. Yeah. Eventually Gordon will be killed off by an enemy and that would end it, but for now we don't really care enough. Ogre Mage is also a very important encounter for now to probably keep in mind. That counts for a lot of encounters in general, But just to get you guys an idea of what is runnable and what isn't. I can run from Ogre Mage is fine, and I can't run from Were-Rats. Just keep that in the back of your mind.
And the Ogre Mages later on, they become unrunnable when you get to the Deist region.
Yep.
So you gotta, if you're running this game, you gotta know like all these, what's escapable and what's not. That's mainly what you have to know with this game.
Yeah, and another interesting one later that we'll see is the Were-Rats as well. They're unrunnable now, but later on, when combined with ghouls, they are runnable, even though ghouls tied with something else is always unrunnable in that dungeon, with the exception of the Were-Rat. Even though, so you kind of have two unrunnable encounters together, and that makes it runnable again. So yeah, this game can be very, very weird in that sense, which is what makes it very difficult sometimes to keep track of which encounters you should be able to, or you should run from, and which ones you shouldn't.
Also, pretty much every single runnable, non-runnable list on the internet is wrong or lackluster.
Yeah,
there's like... Go ahead.
Now, there's like, in researching this game, you'll find that there's a lot of lists that say completely different things. And I think Deln and I both have our own list, but I know both of them aren't completely accurate.
Dan's list isn't even completed.
Yeah, and neither is mine.
That's what I was gonna say, mine, I made some too, and I had to triple check them, and they're still wrong.
Yeah, encounters in this game are just so incredibly awkward that it's incredibly difficult to make a proper list of it.
Okay, so we got the last time? Good.
Coming up on the Red Soul here, this is the last enemy I'll be using my barehanded skill on, at least in terms of bosses. Soul enemies are immune to any kind of spell, so if I were to use, teleport, for example, on this, it would just not work. So we'll have to use this. We'll have to use the barehanded skill to kill that off.
Yeah, this is where runners can choose to either get level 4, 5, or 6 for unarmed. 6 is safe. You can do it in 1 round. 5 is generally 2 rounds. And if you have 4, then yeah, good luck. You're gonna probably need cure.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons that I opted to even go with level 7. That's not done a lot, but it does help very, very massively with that particular fight. Okay, so you also saw me teach teleport there to Mog. Teleport just to help me get out of that dungeon, because backtracking through dungeons is just slow. We don't want to do that.
You can skip the cutscenes. In the GBA version, there's cutscenes that you normally wouldn't be able to skip, but in the PSP version, Crrool is able to skip it right after the Cassuan Keep.
Yeah, I first have to get the Sunfire, though. Also, we're coming up on a very, very hype part, and I need everybody in chat for this. So, we're about to meet the Chocobo for the very, very first time in the game. And, seeing as how I'm on Team Chocobo, let's get some hype for that. So, when we're going to be picking up the Chocobo, as well as during me driving the Chocobo, spam any kind of Chocobo emote in chat if you have any. I would imagine quite a few of you have such emotes. It's almost time we meet the Chocobo for the very first time in the entire series. We're only going to be seeing it once throughout this game, but get hyped for that. So we're going to pick it up in the Chocobo Forest here. There's only one. It's over here. And let's go drive ourselves a Chocobo! Feel free to spam all those Chocobo emotes. We need those right now. Let's get some hype for Team Choco.
I saw a goose.
It's a turkey.
That was a goose.
So yeah, that was our Chocobo segment. Unfortunately, that really was all. That's all we're going to be seeing of it, at least for this run. Well, I mean, you'll see it in a little bit again on Deln's part, I suppose.
Yeah, it looks like Deln is pretty spot on as far as I can tell with the step counter. Correct me if I'm wrong, Deln, but it looks pretty spot on.
I can tell you in like 15 seconds.
So yeah, we're gonna give this guy the pass we got earlier. He's gonna just let us pass, no problem.
Make that 20.
So, Deln, you're trying to skip the one where you... Right when you get into town? Is that the one you can skip there?
Alright, I'm still on it right now.
Yeah, looks good.
So yeah, this is that gassed were-rat encounter that I mentioned earlier. Separately, or, well, the ghast, combined with anything else, it's unrunnable. The were-rat alone is... combined with anything else, it's unrunnable. The were-rat alone, completely unrunnable. And then now we can just run away. Assuming the game would actually... Wait, did I not equip my shields? I didn't equip my shields. That would explain why I wasn't running. We'll do it like this. This should be okay.
Get dunked, Gordon.
Seems suitable. I mean, he is kind of our meat shield.
So we see Deln has enough for one Mithril shield. That's going to help out a bit. Because it's definitely possible to do this with the buckler, but you might as well get the Mithril shields when you can. It just makes it so much better on the RNG later on.
Yeah, Buckler plus Mithril Shield plus level 6 or 7 gives you maxed out evasion, which means maxed out speed.
Yeah, level 7 gives you maxed out, I think. I don't think level 8 is completely maxed out, although it... Or level 6 isn't completely maxed out, although I think it's pretty close.
Yeah, it takes 2 Mithril shields at 6, I think. So Deln is choosing to fight a few more as well for some guild.
Yeah, so you'll most likely, since Deln is trying to do this step route, you'll see him not go back to get more fire tomes like I did. So he'll definitely have to play it as safe as possible on his money management. Also just quickly freeing the princess from the Dreadnought before we go on to actually try to destroy this ship.
Are you going to get Thief's Gloves?
No.
Yeah, they're not required by any means. So there's a treasure chest in the Dreadnought where Crrool is, or you can get a Thief's Gloves, and what that does is when you equip it, it gives it plus 10 agility. There's a little bit of armor, but armor really doesn't do too much in this game.
Now, armor is practically irrelevant, and because I have level 7 shields, the additional agility doesn't do a whole lot for me. Which is why I'm opting to skip it. You can actually get that as well and just get that extra bit of safety, but at this point it shouldn't matter.
Yeah, there's 3 pieces of equipment that you can get during the run. It's the Black Garb, the Gold Hairpin, and the Thief's Gloves, all in different slots you can get for a total of plus 30.
Yeah, the Gold Hairpin and the Black Garb are actually, like, the Gold Hairpin, one of them you get pretty much for free, because one of the later party members has one by default. And then the Black Garb is a chest you literally pass right next to. It's only one click away, basically. So those are are very quick to get, but the Thieves' Armlets is a little bit further out of the way. It's still not a lot. I think it's like 10 additional steps back and 10 forth, so like 20 steps total.
Yeah, and that sometimes means one extra encounter, unfortunately. You can buy the Thief's Gloves in Mysidia, and you can get the Black Garb in a treasure chest, but those are also out of the way a little bit too.
The last Black Garb isn't. That's when you get the Blood Sword.
I mean the one in Mysidia Cave, you can get a Black Garb.
Yeah, that one is. So you will probably see me pick up the Black Garb near the end of the game. There is one... That's one of them that's literally one tile, or not even one tile away from me, one click away. And I don't think Deln picks up the hairpin. Or the hairpin, the Thieves' Gloves. But I'm not completely sure. You don't, okay.
Yeah, Deln's got to catch up, he don't got time for that. Also, the gold hairpin also is resistant to lightning, I think it is. It helps a little bit in some parts.
Yeah, that can be a little bit helpful, but again, since usually you have your meat shield, in this case in the form of Gordon, and later on in the form of other other NPCs, or, well, other side characters, so to speak. You know, you generally don't even take any damage, and usually you can tank a hit or two if you really are up against a mage of sorts.
Yeah, you'll see it gets pretty nasty later on, even with the back row party members. If something magic goes off and it hits them, it can spell death for some of them.
Yeah. I'm getting very unlucky, getting a lot of mine encounters. Well, I guess that gives Deln some time to catch up, but very unlucky there.
Yeah, it's weird, because everything in the Dreadnought pretty much is weak to fire in some way or another. Just the Were-Rats, I think, is not. So Dylan already got the Dreadnought keyword, so he doesn't have to do it there.
So yeah, this is a really annoying room. You can actually fight those guards there. They're actually pretty easy to kill. But if you kill them, they will still stay there, so they won't actually move out of the way. So we have to walk all the way around in order to get to it.
Okay, Deln only got 14 fire tomes. Let's hope it works out.
There's my Sunfire. So I'm dropping the Sunfire into the Dreadnought here, which will blow up the airship and get rid of that thing for good.
It's generally a bad idea to blow up an airship when you're inside of it, but why not?
Yeah. I mean, we have some time to escape, but before we do, we hear, or some Dark Knight comes up to us and he talks a little bit, and Maria actually notices that she recognizes his voice. We don't know a lot about that yet, but it turns out that guy, that's what I believe she does actually suggest that there, is our missing brother Leon, or in this case On, which would finally finish up the sentence, I guess. And we won't actually be seeing him much until near the end of the game, but it's kind of the first hint that you get that Leon is alive, and he is still running around.
The original Dark Knight.
Okay, and with that, we're going back to Altair, and well, there's some sad news because the king is passing away. So we're gonna talk to the king.
Yeah, you'll see it's another reoccurring theme with the characters. If when you talk to them in a bed, they're like gonna die eventually. No spoilers.
So true.
It's Game of Thrones all over again.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess it's the original Game of Thrones, more or less. So yeah, the king, he passes away. He has a dying wish for us. He wants Gordon to retake the city, the Castle of Fen, which is where they were originally from. They want Minwu to search for the Ultima tome, which is supposedly the ultimate magic spell. To be fair, it's kind of a fool's quest, but we'll get to that later. And then they want us to go look for the Dragoons, see if we can help them out. Now we learn a little bit more about the Dragoons from Gordon before we head out.
Okay, so we see Deln going into the Snowcraft minigame in just a second. How many are you gonna do, Deln? I guess we'll find out in a second.
I guess so. So yeah, the ship it's kind of disappeared, and Deist, where the Dragoons live, it's on an island, so we kind of need a ship. But luckily there's this pirate girl around who supposedly has a ship that can take us there. Okay, well, let's board the ship. Now, I would recommend not to board the ship of a stranger. Generally, just my personal piece of advice, but we'll just go. Well, we're kind of surrounded by pirates. That doesn't help much. And, wow, they actually ambushed me too? Cool. I'm getting ambushed by 8 pirates. I mean, it did kind of seem like an ambush. We weren't expecting that. Let's see if we can kill them off. Now you can kind of try to kill them off in 2 ways. You can either use teleport, which can be faster, but isn't very consistent, or you can use fire, which always guarantees a 3-shot, but teleport can be a 1 or 2-shot. I have had runs where it's a 2-shot with teleport. It's kind of a high risk, high risk, small reward kind of thing there. Lila just bending her knee, so to speak. And we kind of want to bring her along. I mean, as her punishment, we're not going to kill her or anything. We're just going to bring her along, because we could use a new meat shield. Gordon has left the party, so we need somebody to act as a meat shield for a while.
So it looks like Deln's going to do 4. And what that's going to do for him, as we talked about earlier, is if he gets 0 misses, he will get a bunch of gil, and he'll get an elixir, which also sells for a lot. And what's really cool about this minigame is that number 1 through 32 will always be the same as 33 through 64. So that's how he knows the order when he's doing it right now.
It loops after 32, so we don't really know where in the puzzle we are when we go in. But by solving the first 2 or 3 puzzles, you know what the solutions are for those, and you can just get a bunch of money for it that way. And even in a casual playthrough, like, you can just make a picture of the screen and use that to quote-unquote glitch yourself a ton of money. So we're supposed to go to Deist to get to the Dragoons, but I'm gonna take a small detour here. We're gonna go into this weird tropical island. This place is actually really hard to find if you don't use a map. I've got some visual cues to make it easy on me. And at the end of this dungeon, there's a mask. that's for yet. We aren't even introduced to those things yet. That's all later on in the story. But to kind of give an idea, we need 2 masks, a white mask and a black mask, in order to get the crystal rod. And we need the crystal rod in order to open up the crystal tower, which has the Ultima Tobe, that ultimate magic spell that I mentioned, right on top of it.
The best spell in the game, Kappa.
Yeah, so good. For those wondering why I mentioned it to be a fool's quest, well, we are not actually going to ever use that spell, so all of this we do is just because we have to hit that trigger in order to beat the game. But otherwise we wouldn't care at all, because this spell is not particularly good. I mean, level 10 spells are generally strong, but that takes a long time to get, and using it as a tome we could only do once, and it's not really worth looking for something like that for an hour only to use it once.
Yeah, one thing I want to mention about Tropical Island is that you can go to Deist or you can go to Tropical Island in any order, but the way it works out is the travel time is less if you do Tropical Island first. That's why he's doing it first. It's kind of like unintended order. I don't know if you want to call it a sequence break or anything like that, but it's expecting you to come in here at higher level.
Just because I see the discussion in chat right now, why we mock Ultima is broken in pretty much every version of the game. So the damage increase is not as intended. Usually for every level you have in any kind of spell or shield, sword, should add up damage for Ultima, which does not really work.
If you really spent the time, it would like do the same damage as Flare, and you don't want to spend like 20 hours leveling it or whatever it takes.
Yeah, and you can see here with this boss fight, for example, like teleport even works on bosses, or at least quite a lot of them. So a lot of bosses throughout the game you can just one-shot if you get lucky. So spending a lot of time to get Ultima is kind of pointless, especially because you even spend like an hour over the course of the run just to get to that spell, only to never use it ever.
Not the best luck for bighorns.
No, but still okay. I got him in the second turn.
And each enemy and boss in the game, they have a certain like magic. Some of them have immunities to magic, but a lot of them have certain magic defenses. And the ones that have higher magic defenses, the teleport's gonna miss more often, obviously.
Yeah, so that gets us the Black Mask, and we'll move on towards Deist. So Deist is supposedly the place where all the Dragoons and the Wyvern live. So, I mean, that could be useful if you're fighting a war to have the Dragoons on your side. Could be a nice addition to our army. Could potentially help us take back the city. So let's see if they're up for it. Okay, went just a tad too far there. That's okay. There are some minor differences between PSP and GBA, although most of the route is the same. I think the biggest difference is that GBA doesn't have defend, which is a very, very useful move during grinding.
Okay, there's Deln downing the Adamantoids pretty easily. He got 2 characters dead with it. He should be okay.
So I'm going into the cave, and this is the first place where we'll see an enemy that I might have to reset over if I get unlucky. Hopefully we won't be seeing them a lot. So if I were to go into the castle, it would turn out all of the Dragoons are dead. There's only 1 Wyvern remaining, but we can't talk to him because we don't have the pendant. So we're gonna grab the pendant, which is on this next floor. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's next split, isn't it?
Yeah, you both are coming up to your own split.
Cool.
So
See,
the pendant for Crrool pretty soon, and the Borggan for Deln. Deln is doing Borggan right now after this fight.
Yeah, and I'm getting very unlucky here with this Hill Gigas. So this dungeon also has a ton of unrunnable encounters, such as these Hill Gigases, where I just have to pray that I can teleport them away very quickly. So yeah, and that gets me the pendant. There we go.
Borggan down.
And pendant obtained.
There we go, now we're on even splits. Kind of.
So yeah, just gonna be teleporting out again. It's not really worth it for me to backtrack. We actually need to escape out in order to talk to that Wyvern mentioned. Now that we have the pendant, we can actually talk to him. So let's go into the castle. See if he has anything useful to say. So this kid, he's pretty much the last, or he is one of the last remaining people in the castle, and he's scared. He thinks we're about to attack them. Luckily, the mother knows better. And we're going to talk to the Wyvern. We're going to ask for his help. Now, the Wyvern is unfortunately on his dying bed. He was poisoned by the Empire, along with all the other Wyvern, but he does have an egg. And it's said that if an egg is dropped in the spring, then it will eventually hatch into a new Wyvern. So we're gonna try to save those Wyverns from extinction.
Yeah, maybe if you didn't talk to that Wyvern, they wouldn't have died. But
yeah,
we need
maybe.
to progress the game.
Yeah, that's kind of an issue. I kind of do want to progress the game. Gotta go fast and all that. I mean, it's a good thought. Maybe I should try that sometime. Maybe he would be able to fly me into the cyclone. He would have to be healed, though. Like, he can't do that while he's sick. Okay, so this is an encounter we mentioned a bit earlier. This is the Ogre Mage, and it's actually the Ogre Mage in this encounter that makes it unrunnable. So even though we could run away from Ogre Mages just fine earlier, now we actually have to go ahead and kill them off. And even though the Ogre Mage is dead, I still have to kill the rest of the encounter. It stays unrunnable even when you kill the unrunnable part of it. Oh, nice. Got a Mithril shield drop there. So yeah, the Mithril shield drop I can use to, wow, menus, to upgrade my shields a bit. I didn't buy additional Mithril shields earlier, which I could have done actually. But we're getting ice shields fairly soon, which is why it doesn't matter too much. Yeah, this place
dungeon is particularly nasty, so he's gonna get the souls in particular.
So yeah, there you see the souls for the first time, and basically whenever I get that encounter, I just have to reset the game. Nothing I can do. Commentator Jinx again?
Me and Neros were watching you play yesterday, and we were calling literally everything that happened. We kind of felt
God. So that's why it went so poorly yesterday, at least my second try.
Let's put it that way, Crack even called every single ambush on Emperor 1.
Crack, why would you do that to me?
Hey, I was just predicting it, I didn't think it was gonna happen.
Why would you do such a thing? That's horrible.
Sorry for stabbing you.
Oh well, rather in that practice run than now.
Yeah, one of the weird things that happens with PSP and GBA version is sometimes, we're not really sure how it works entirely, but if you take an extra step after you saved or pull up a menu, sometimes it changes the RNG, but it's like, for the most part, you're just playing Final Fantasy II. There's going to be RNG.
So yeah, at least they don't stay yellow souls so far. Let's hope that stays that way. It's, as long as it's fine if it's an encounter that I can actually kill, but with the yellow souls, the problem that arises is we don't have any ways of killing it, because, like I mentioned earlier, the yellow souls are immune to spells, and, well, pretty much everything I use to kill off stuff is spells. I could use barehanded, but that would mean, first of all, that I would lose out on my meat shield, which I really don't want to have happen. Okay, if this doesn't hit, I'm resending this fight anyway. 7 teleports for 2 heal gigases is ridiculous.
Welcome to FF2.
Yeah, this is basically FF2 in a nutshell. Like, anything can happen like that.
You can get them first try or 20 million try.
And it's getting worse from this point on.
Oh yeah. If you thought the RNG at this point was bad, you haven't seen a thing. Wow, another yellow souls. This is not great yet.
No more yellow souls.
Okay. I'll do another safety save here, in case I get more of them.
And like we talked about earlier, it's going to be on that specific step and wait is when he gets an encounter. To make matters worse.
So this is where Deln actually has a bit of an advantage on me in doing the step manip. He knows when he's going to get the encounter. I don't. So he can pretty much save the tile before he would get the encounter and just hope that it's the good one, whereas I just have to hope it's the good one in general and just have to save often. It's a bit slower that way, but doing step route is kind of difficult, especially because of how fast the movement is.
Also, you see with Deln, sometimes, you probably saw it with Crrool as well, when the front row member dies, all melee attacks or physical attacks, whatever you want to call them, they won't go through for the next round. So it gives you a chance to escape really quickly. The enemies just completely stop their whole round if you're going to do a physical attack. And they have to, because the back row, what happens is the back row goes to the front row when the front row is killed. And somehow that confuses the game, I guess.
And what you also can see is Deln actually just revives his meat shield.
Yeah, so that's kind of an optional thing. Later on you'll see me just reviving him as well, instead of just healing them. But the advantage of healing them is, if you get lucky, you don't get a lot of hits off during an ambush, and you don't have to go into the menu. It's kind of preference. Depending on the RNG, one way can be faster than the other. For the later dungeons, though, they would pretty much get one shot from any health, so it's not worth it to heal them up, which you get with these Helgigases, for example, as well.
And Deln with a pretty clean red soul. Did you get the gold hairpin, Crrool?
No. Well, I got it from Lila.
Oh, okay. Just want to make sure you have it in your inventory.
Yeah, I have it equipped on Maria at the moment. So yeah, Lila comes with a gold hairpin equipped at the start. So I can take that off and give it to a member that actually stays with my party. Getting a really, really bad dungeon here, by the way.
Yeah. I don't know, five yellow souls by now.
Yeah, and a lot of unrunnables in general. I've barely seen any Reverence. So there are actually runnable encounters in this dungeon, Reverence being the most notable one. And I'm not getting lucky in getting those. Ideally, you just want to see as many of those as possible. But it's up to RNG as to what it is.
Also
Yeah,
on
some
Deln's screen,
floors
Chocobo.
Good. Chocobo!
Chocobo! Go spam those Chocobos again, boys. We need Team Chocobo to win this. Let's get some hype for Team Chocobo. Okay, so there are some Revenants there, finally.
If for some reason you don't ride that Chocobo, then what happens is you gotta go through that desert, and that desert is pretty dangerous, especially if you get an ambush. Until later on.
Yeah, so what the game expects you to do is it kind of expects you to go back to Altair and move up from there, and you can get to the airship from there pretty safely, but it's a massive detour to have to do that. So you could just go down and go through the desert. The problem with that is the desert is incredibly dangerous because you're not supposed to be in that area yet, so the enemies are incredibly dangerous and hard to kill. They can be killed very quickly with teleport, but they pretty much one-shot everyone. So yeah, there's a lot of ways that that can be really trolly.
Trolley is a good word for FF2 in general.
Sorry?
Trolley is a good word for FF2 in general.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, getting very lucky here on the Chimera. That's like the first thing this this dungeon that has actually been good. So the boss here, the Chimera, can be anywhere between 1 and 4 enemies. Obviously, you want as few as possible because you're more likely to kill it off quickly, which in this case went well. Now I am going to save because I have gotten yellow souls on those 2 steps that I still need to take here. That has happened before, and then I had to do the fight again. That wasn't fun. Dropping the egg in the lake, and we're finally done with this dungeon. That was pretty bad, but so be it.
Yeah, if you use the speedrun strats, even like in casual play, it's not really too difficult to complete this game, but if you're really trying for a good time in this game, there's just so much RNG that happens.
Yeah. It is definitely one of the harder RPGs to speedrun. Just because of how much RNG is involved.
Does this game have more RNG than me randomly dropping in asking for 2 minutes of your time?
Yes, it's more random than that. But go ahead, 7.
Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you very much for tuning into the Final Fantasy Relay. I hope you're all having a good time. I just want to give, again, I've been doing this on the hour because I believe these people deserve recognition for what they've done. And obviously, you know, aside from the runners, sorry, that are currently going, Crrool and Deln, keep it up. It's very entertaining to watch, and Final Fantasy 2 is pretty hard to make entertaining. So, very good job on that. Bracken Naros as well, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a question for you. Do you use Twitter? What is that, yes? Oh, okay, cool. Well, if you could actually tweet out the RPG Limit Break stream and the Final Fantasy Relay under the FF Relay hashtag, that's hashtag FF Relay, that would be awesome. Let's get more people in here. Let's get more hype in here. Let's see some Moogles. You know, even though I prefer Chocobos, but let's not talk about that. Yeah. Let's get some hype. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. And good luck, Deln. Crrool. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think I'm going to put that on Twitter right now, because I was told to do so.
That sounds like a solid plan. I'm kind of busy playing a game right now, but I'll be sure to do another tweet right after.
What? No multitasking?
No, not with this game.
Dylan does it fine.
FF1 I'm comfortable enough to multitask. FF2, not so much. So yeah, in the meantime, we've traveled all the way back to the starting town. Again, this kind of seems like a recurring theme now, doesn't it? But we're gonna meet up with the princess. I seem to recall somewhere it's mentioned that when you go to report about the dragoons, that somebody mentions that she wants to see you in her bedroom, and she wants just us. So we're gonna send all of the others out, and well, let's just see what happens here.
Oh, it's getting hot in here.
Oh, it is. She's getting on the bed like that. What is going on? Okay, I guess. Sure.
Remember what we said about talking to people on beds?
And she's got me. And it turns out the princess isn't really a princess. She's the Lamia Queen. Now the others were listening from behind the door, so they actually heard us. So this is a very fun boss, and when I say fun, it's horrible. I need a teleport to hit. One teleport will do. It can take anywhere. I've had anywhere between first try and I believe 16th is the slowest I have, and that was with a death too. Getting second try is pretty decent. I'll take it.
Nice.
That's
The
pretty
longest
good,
it
yeah.
took me was like 46 or something.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I see Deln with like 7 turns total, or something crazy like that.
Yeah,
It was a lot, yeah.
Lamias have a high magic defense, so they're pretty annoying to teleport out.
Definitely.
That's also the first time you get the second boss theme, which is pretty good.
So yeah, Gordon, he's gonna rejoin our party. He's still that weird spoony bard character, so to speak. But you know, he joins our party, and we can. We're gonna try to save the princess. Haven't we done this before? Is that just me, or have we tried saving the princess before back at the Dreadnought?
Deja vu.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like that. But okay, we'll just take it. We'll try to save the princess for real this time.
Deln with a pretty good Dreadnought overall. He's catching up a bit.
Yeah, I'm having some pretty below average RNG so far. So, I mean, that's probably for the better with the loss he had at the start.
Okay, so with Crrool, we're gonna cross the desert now.
Yeah, so this is where we get to see how annoying the desert is. There is also an interesting note. There is one unrunnable encounter here. It's anything tied with a Chimera, which is super annoying. Getting those a lot in particular can lose you a lot of time. There's only a few encounters you'll get, because we don't need to traverse that much land. But we can get trolled on pretty bad here.
I believe the Chimera by themselves are runnable, if I'm not mistaken, right? At least in the desert.
I'm not sure. They might be.
I remember running from them. It was probably in the desert. I know in the actual dungeon they're not. But... You can be the guinea pig if you get another one.
Well, I guess we could try. Let me save here, just in case. So yeah, it turns out the Emperor, he took the princess, or he's giving away the princess as a prize at the Coliseum to whomever can beat his quote-unquote champion. Okay, this is weird. Land rays aren't unrunnable. Can I run, please, game? Thank you.
And yet another king dies?
Today.
Oh yeah. And more to come, more to come.
Okay, looks like a pretty decent walk outside of that first Chimera. So this is the Coliseum, and well, let's see if we can go ahead and kill the Emperor here. Well, that didn't go well. And kinda looks like we're locked in here.
It's a trap!
It's a trap. Let's see what his champion is like. Oh boy, that does not look like fun.
Oh yeah, the artwork is really neat on this boss right here too.
Yeah,
They
this
really
is
did
the
the details.
behemoth. It's definitely a very difficult boss to beat. Let's see what we can get here. Let's see if we can beat him first try. And we got him. So again, you get to see the power of teleport. You can get lucky again and just teleport him away first try. It can take quite a few tries as well, just as like with the Lamia Queen earlier. Now, obviously, we don't just get to the Emperor. It's yet another trap. It was a trap in a trap. It's like Trapsation right there. Trapception. There we go. And we get captured by our brother, the Dark Knight. But luckily, the amazing thief Paul, he decides to just come to the rescue here. He is just going to go ahead and run out and leave us in the middle of the dungeon for no apparent reason, but that's okay. We can make our way out. First room doesn't have encounters, so that's pretty neat.
Yeah, you see Paul the Thief is... You actually see him near the beginning of the game, but we don't even talk to him in the speedrun until that point.
Nope. So this is also, like, you may have just seen me walk through a wall. I think this is the first time we actually got to do that. There's a lot of walls throughout the game that you can just walk through, no problem. Welp, that was unlucky. I got put to sleep, and then everybody stayed asleep, so they managed to kill me off. I think this is runnable, but I'm not going to completely gamble it. Yeah, it is. Okay. I wasn't sure there for a second. And we meet up with Princess Hilda. Now, Gordon, he's going to escort the princess out of here, because for some reason it's a smart idea for the two of them to just go together and let us walk out alone. Feels to me like it would be smarter to walk out together. Well, we're missing out on our meat shield again, but that's okay. We'll just use Guy as our meat shield for a while. Yeah, I might as well reset this. That's kind of unfortunate because it is runnable, but they can very easily and very quickly kill me off. So I wasn't going to set...
It's all about quick reactions for the encounters you get. That's where you can get a lot of your time from.
So yeah, there aren't a lot of particularly bad encounters here. The Spectres can be really, really dumb because of this move, which can just instantly one-shot my party, which they just did.
Lovely.
Oh wow, getting a second pack of them too. I am... wow. Every dungeon has been trolling me at this point. Okay, maybe I can still make a run for it. Nope.
I lost the manipulation a while back, but I think I can fix it somehow.
Yeah, I
think
saw
you're
it. You
one
got,
step off.
Ugh, I don't know that did not do it. No.
got an encounter right before the entrance.
No, I was trying to force the encounter here, but oh well.
Okay, if one of them wakes up here, we can try to run away.
You kept
They
it
did
pretty
not.
long there, Deln.
So
was
that
pretty
means
impressive.
I'm one step behind it or something. Yeah, one step behind. But that's cool. I can still make it work.
Finally, okay, I finally got an encounter. Wow, don't tell me this isn't gonna let me run now.
So this game is. Yeah, usually this place doesn't troll you too hard because it's pretty short, but...
It's a very short area. It's definitely not one where you expect to get trolled. But, for some reason I am...
Wow.
It might be... Is that... Might that be unrunnable? Because it's separate, or it's not No, they were runnable earlier, weren't they? Okay,
I
I'm
think it's
confused.
that floor. That's probably why.
The only thing you have to tell yourself is welcome to FF2, where nothing goes the way you want it to go. Yeah.
This is classic FF2 right now. Yeah, I'm just gonna use fire tomes here. Just kill them off so I can at least finish up this dungeon.
Let's
Okay,
see
so
RNG on
that
downside.
does finally end up finishing Coliseum for me, but that was like I've had some particularly bad dungeons so far.
So I'm gonna try to fix it right here by doing one step only and then going out, but wow, all my books miss one.
Wow.
So if you're plus one step at this point, or 3 steps or whatever, you can do one step and then teleport out, and then you'll be behind by 2 steps, and you can save it on the next island.
And
Like
the Tropical
right
Island, you have to use the teleport out.
Yeah.
You can't use the spell itself.
This one I think you can. Yes.
Oh, it's the
Yeah,
what
you
is
can.
it?
This one.
The
Yeah,
castle.
Yeah, the castle
you have to
you
use
can.
teleporter.
Yeah, but this one I just did plus 1 step,
Oh, okay.
so my step should be fine, I think. I'm still plus 2, minus 2, but or plus 2, whatever. I don't know. I'm bad with numbers.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive to see that you like can keep count of it the whole game. That's pretty hard to do.
Again, getting pretty nasty encounters along the way here. It's really not much I can do about this, other than just hoping to finally get some good luck. Wait, that is runnable?
I told you the Chimera is runnable in some form or another. I just don't know which one.
Okay, I don't understand any of this anymore.
The land ray is I'm pretty sure all of them are unrunnable. The Chimera's kind of, I don't know, dude.
Yeah, there is, I believe, a Chimera combination here that is unrunnable. I thought it was that one. But yeah, I guess this is just one way of showing how weird unrunnables can be. And even with experience with the route, it's still hard to tell.
And this is where I can save come back to the manipulation. Instead of doing 8 steps, I do 6 here. So now I should be back on track.
Yeah, Deln's coming up to the pendant pretty soon if you guys want to split on that. In the next 2 rooms, right?
Yeah, I'm on top of it now. I'm on track, so all good.
Again, getting particularly bad luck on areas that I shouldn't.
I can't. Oh, that's right. The Ogre Mage in the cave. Damn. So how many yellow souls do you think I'm gonna get? How many encounters with yellow souls, I should say?
Yeah.
I just say a number.
Get Shrek'd.
Just say a number.
7.
7. Wow, that's a lot.
That's about what I got.
Yeah, that's what Crrool got.
The good thing with knowing where you get encounter and stuff is you don't get any encounter here on the outside.
I'm afraid to throw out numbers when you guys ask those kinds of questions.
Oh yeah,
because it sometimes comes true.
Well, it can't be worse than me. Every time I say something, it also always happens.
Yeah, Craig had the same going on yesterday.
Alright, you get the egg.
Okay, so I'm finally about to enter the Castle of Finn again. It's time we started taking back our castle, shall we?
That's also the only time in the game where the rebel camp is outside of it. That's the only time you can visit it. But we don't do that in the speedrun because it wastes time.
Yeah, there's no triggers that we need to hit there, so we can just move on like this. Okay, I have no idea if these are runnable at this point. I thought I did, but that was proven wrong earlier. Is that a runnable combination? Or not? Wow. Okay, so yeah, the castle is another one of those weird spots. There's actually a lot of unrunnable stuff here. Okay, this is easily killable at least. We do get our meat shield back in a little bit, because Lila actually decides to join the party again. For some reason, she was waiting in the middle of the dungeon in the midst of all of those unrunnable encounters. But I guess that's okay. She'll just join our party here. And we'll move on to the next boss.
Deln at least getting some decent luck with teleports.
Yep, decent.
Don't say anything, he's gonna get... I'm not gonna say it.
Shut up, please. Don't jinx it.
Okay.
It's okay.
Didn't get any more encounters till Gothos, so this is Gothos. He's kind of been taking care of the castle while the Emperor is away. I mean, he's kind of pathetic. You'll see here, we just one-shot this thing.
He looks like he's doing squats there.
That too.
And one.
And that finally gets us our castle back. So that's good.
What is it, the third basement floor down where you can start getting yellow souls?
No, you can get them right at the start.
Yeah.
Because I see them more often on the third and fourth floor.
Fourth floor, I'd have, I think, 19.9% chance of showing up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They do seem to get more common later on, but you can encounter them in the first floor. I think in my PB I actually encountered one on floor 1 when getting the pendant.
Oh, in one of my run, I did encounter, I think, 4 or 5 groups of yellow souls just on the very first encounter.
Oh wow! So yeah, this is.
I'm saving a lot here.
So this is the dungeon. We're now under the castle, and this is where we get the other mask, the white mask. And this is actually a really interesting dungeon in that everything on the first floor and the 5th floor is unrunnable, And then there is one reset encounter, the green souls, that I know we can encounter on floors 3, 4, and 5.
But you can only escape them on 3 and 4 for some reason.
Oh, you can escape from there?
Well, I was able to. I don't know about you, but I was able to.
Okay. I don't think I've ever tried escaping on 2 and 3.
It's worth a try, right?
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
He's trying to sabotage you, of course.
Naturally.
Trying to save my 18 minutes. That I need to save, not 18 minutes, 38 minutes.
Well, don't worry, Deln. The game is doing that for you as we speak.
Oh, I don't worry. I'm not worrying. Don't worry. Actually, feel pretty confident now. Oh, hey, yellow souls. You know.
Speaking of souls.
Speaking of the devil, yeah. You know what? I'm not even gonna say anything, alright? Until I get through this one.
Yeah, green souls are a little different from the other souls because what they do is they just use cure the whole time, and as you can imagine, that's not very threatening. But to reset is generally the faster way to do it. Still.
Yeah, it's a really interesting encounter in that you can't kill it, but it can't kill you. Because it will always use cure, you can't or they won't ever actually kill you, but because the only way of actually dealing damage is through Lila's attack, you can't actually kill it. At least not until you spent like 10 minutes on that fight. So in that sense, it's a really weird and really interesting encounter.
Deln got some decent luck with Chimera. And first try teleport, nice.
Yeah, if you get like a bit of a better behemoth than I did, then you're definitely gonna catch up a good bit. So yeah, we now hit floor 5, and floor 5 is again really weird. So you may remember those stalagmites. They were runnable about like half a minute ago. Now they aren't. So for this floor, we're just gonna try to teleport everything away. There's no real other way to do it.
You can see these ogres getting shreked right now.
And if I'm not mistaken, the next split is a white mask, isn't it?
Yes, we're gonna split pretty soon.
Yeah, so the next split, at least on my end, is coming up, because this is... I'm about to get to the white mask. It's maybe 1 or 2 more encounters.
So I figured why my PSP closed earlier, and it's not because no battery. That's the other way around. It's because my charger was plugged in. Yeah, it sounds weird, but if I move the charger, the wire around while it's plugged, for some reason my PSP can just close itself for no reason.
Oh wow, that's really weird.
Yeah.
That's the white mask, by the way, in case anybody wanted to split. What is the next split anyway?
Emperor, the first Emperor.
Emperor.
And then obviously beat the game after that.
Yep, sounds about right. Okay, so now that we have the 2 masks, I can finally go and get Ultima, that completely useless spell we've been talking about. It's still gonna take quite a bit of moving around. We're first gonna go to Mysidia, because we still need to get the Crystal Rod, and that's another dungeon where big gaps in time can start appearing, or, you know, the gap in time could shrink even further. That very much depends on what that dungeon is going to throw at me. Not to mention the way to that dungeon, which has plenty of weird stuff as well.
Alright, we're going in. No save.
Oh boy. No
Nice.
save Lamia fight. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm saving like 5 seconds on Crrool with that, so...
Yep.
I'll take all the seconds I can get.
Fair point.
Yeah, the Lamia Queen can also use Charm, which confuses your characters. Definitely not jinxing it.
It's okay though, because all my characters have double shield, so they can't do anything against themselves.
Yeah, it's just gonna waste time for Deln.
Yeah.
If he does get that.
Come on, first try teleport. I call it.
I mean... Alright, we'll see. And... First try.
Ha! GG.
Very
That's
nice,
so
Deln.
good.
Also,
All
if you're
that
doing like
practice
in
makes-
casual play, you can also get a ribbon drop from that boss. That's like the early ribbon you can get. But the ribbon really doesn't do much for the speedrun.
Hello, Gordon.
So yeah, in the meantime, I'm just gonna stock up on some stuff. We've been running low on spells and heal items and stuff. This is pretty much the last time that we're going to stock up on it for a while. At least I should now have enough to beat the game. White mask. So yeah, we're gonna put the white mask there, and from there we're going to move on to the next dungeon. Oh wow, I keep getting trolled by the encounters on the way. That is not an encounter I'd like to fight.
Yeah, the overworld maps, the random encounters from that are really too bad, except for Mysidia and after the overworld change.
Yeah, but after
Those are
the
the two bad
overworld,
ones.
yeah, after the overworld change, there isn't a lot you need to worry about anymore. Because you barely take any steps on the overworld to begin with. I don't think this works, but I can try.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty bad Mysidia overworld kind of stuff here. Okay, Deln's moving to Behemoth. Let's see if he's gonna get lucky and get the first try. First try teleport to him.
Let's see if you're also good in good RNG calls.
It's not gonna happen. It's gonna be like second try just to spite me.
Rip
Yes.
first try.
Not even second try. Ah, third try. Oh well.
That'll
Oh
do.
wow, and then the bombs trolling me? Bombs are generally not something that troll you a lot. They're fairly easy to teleport away, but I'm, again, getting particularly unlucky. It's been a very, very unlucky run up to this point.
I could say something, but I
Hey, what's up,
really
Liam?
don't want to jinx it.
Can you unjinx it?
Probably not.
Hmm.
But seeing his RNG right now, I don't want the Emperor one.
I mean, this is all we're just getting all the bad RNG out of the way for a fantastic Emperor one.
We can just hope.
Yeah, hoping is really good.
I got a first try Emperor 1 yesterday for the first time ever, so who knows?
So, I do one thing here that is different from Crack and Nikki's run, I guess you could say. Since I quote-unquote manipulate encounters, if I go down instead of going into the top part where the invisible wall is, it really doesn't change anything, but later it skips 2 encounters that they would force me to get. So that's why I go up and not down in that invisible wall.
Okay, so
Yeah,
after
I
a
don't
long...
navigate at all.
No, because in the PSP version, if you skip an encounter entering a door, or I really don't know, the game is weird with that, but if you do that, the game will force you to get the encounter, like, at some point.
Yeah, it does that in GBA as well.
Yeah, it's really, really, really weird, and sometimes nothing to do. So.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. Just routing out the encounters is pretty flaky.
Yeah. But it's okay right now, we got it, I think. I just need them not to curse me or to break me, and everything will be fine.
Crrool just got full petrify.
Yeah, I think it's the what is it called, specters that can do that.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, well, if you see a specter and you see ambushed, just pray, because you'll probably get breaked.
In the purity of Mog's heart.
So if I would have followed my my notes right now for that, and go down where you guys go, I would have to take extra steps before the castle.
Well, getting even more souls again. It's just... this game is not giving me a break so far. So we need to go through this dungeon to get the crystal rod and so we can enter the crystal tower. The crystal rod, unfortunately, being in a chest on the very bottom, like B5F, it can be pretty painful to get there. Especially considering there are some enemies that just really, really enjoy trolling, like the Red Souls. We're again gonna see some of those soul encounters that can again be very, very painful to deal with. So just gonna hope and pray that I don't get too many of them. There are luckily a lot of runnable encounters in here as well, so you can just get lucky and not get trolled at all.
Sometimes you can save after every encounter for some of these dungeons, sometimes after every 2 encounters. It depends on how much you want to risk it.
This is not good. I hope they're not gonna cast break on me.
Yeah, so a lot of that just depends on both what kind of dungeon you're in. Like this is the kind of dungeon where there are so many red souls and yellow souls and God knows what else, that you just want to play it safe and just save pretty much between every encounter. Some other dungeons you can play a little bit more risky and you can save every other encounter. Some of them, for example the Tropical Island, you can just blast through and not really need to save anywhere. That was a mistake. Should be fine though.
I'm playing it risky right now.
Who's playing risky?
You?
I'm playing risky.
Oh, come on. You could have also reset.
I know. I didn't want to, so. Alright, Gothos. And first try. Yes.
Yeah, Gothos doesn't have a very high magic resist, so he's can go down usually in turn 1.
Okay, almost done with a floor. That's usually the worst to me. Usually that floor, the one that I'm about to finish. Yeah, okay, I can run from this, so we should be done. That's usually the floor that tends to troll the most with throwing soul encounters at me. Granted, they can still appear here, and they can still troll on other parts as well, but usually the last floor isn't as bad. There are still quite a few unrunnables, but most of them you can kill pretty easily.
Yeah, this last floor makes you go all the way around. Even though if you look at it, it looks like there's stairs you can get like directly up there, but no, the dungeon makes you go all the way around.
Yeah, that's kind of a recurring theme in Final Fantasy II, but although I think it counts for a lot of Final Fantasies in general, that it tends to like to let you just run around the dungeon as much as possible, and make it seem more than you would actually think it would be. Okay, that gets me the Crystal Rod though, so we're finally done in this dungeon. I guess that could have been worse. It wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible either.
I wouldn't say that if I were you, because you never know what's gonna happen now. Calling bad RNG.
Well, I just said that dungeon could have been worse. So hopefully that won't give me too much of a bad omen there, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's probably one of the worst Mysidia caves I've seen in a while.
I've had quite a lot worse than that, but the good thing here is that, or the bad part was mostly the way to the Mysidia cave. I feel like I lost more time on the way to it than I did during the actual cave itself. Okay, so Lila died there. So yeah, Lila died there, and I'm just gonna leave her dead. She's about to leave the party anyway, so I'm just gonna use Guy as my meat shield for a little while.
So when Crack said earlier that there was a place you cannot teleport out, this is it. You can't teleport out after getting the what's the white mask I think here? No, is it white or black mask? Whatever. One of them, but yeah, you can't you can't teleport out. So you'll have to use the teleport in the back.
Yeah, the split's coming up for White Mask.
White Mask got.
I think
that
that
one in the
closes up
Mask
the
Cave. Those two, you can't teleport out with the teleport tome.
Yeah, so you have to walk up and use the teleporter.
I think that closed up the gap by a very significant bit, didn't it?
I don't know. I don't have the splits, so.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
So yeah, this is again one of those dungeons where we can kind of lay back for a bit. There isn't a lot of bad stuff that can happen here. It can still troll, but not as much as other dungeons. So we basically
I believe everything's unrunnable too, right?
Sorry?
Everything's unrunnable in the Leviathan, isn't it?
Everything is runnable.
I mean, runnable, yeah.
Yeah. So that makes this dungeon a lot more laid back than most of the other ones we've had up to this point. It's kind of a break between the bad and the worse, so to speak. Because there is still a lot of really, really horrible stuff coming up very quickly. But for now, we'll just take one shorter dungeon and just hope for the best.
Also in Leviathan, I'm sure these guys aren't going to use it for the speedrun, but there's the power vest, the power armlet, and something else. They all increase accuracy for physical attacks. They could technically choose to use them for the final boss, because they're not too out of the way, but it's not the end of the run if they don't get it.
Nah, and even on the final boss, like, it's not... Like, generally you kill him so quickly anyway that it's not a huge deal if you get it or not. Like, it doesn't make that much of a difference. Okay, so this is the roundworm. He did end up ambushing me, which is kind of unlucky, but still, we killed him first try, so that's okay. And with that, we get our ship back, and we can finally move on. So we now have a new party member. This is the last new meat shield before we actually get Leon back. This is Rickard, or whatever you want to call him. He's a Dragoon, and he got captured as well. Because apparently anybody that has the Crystal Rod would get swollen up by Leviathan. But since we've passed, we can move into the Crystal Tower or Mysidia Tower. I'm not really sure which one it's called.
Mysidian Tower, I think?
Yeah, you might be right there. And this is another one of those dungeons where, you know, anything can happen here. It's not... It's, in my opinion, not as bad as some of the other dungeons. I do tend to save here after, like, every 2 or so encounters. Because, especially the early part, most of it is at least killable. But again, souls will be a thing later on, and you can just get trolled massively. At the end of the tower, though, we get a really big reward for doing all of this. We get the ultimate magic spell, Ultima. Which we've kind of been down talking a lot.
And just like FF1, if he stepped in the lava, he won't get encounters for those specific steps, just like the canoe as well.
Yep. So again, the lava is going to play a pretty big role in skipping a lot of encounters and helping us get through without too many additional encounters.
Yeah, other than in, for example, FF5, where you can just get encounters in damaging areas or tiles, which can be pretty brutal. It's not the case in FF2.
So this is though where we're gonna meet the Basilisk. Basilisks can be very annoying in that they can, well, they can decide to just petrify me altogether, and there wouldn't be a whole lot there that I could do. I am gonna remove that shield, equip it there.
Alright, so I don't know what's going on. My steps are wrong, but I think I forgot to do extra steps, but that might just be me. Huh.
Did you exit Mysidia differently, or what?
Nah. I'll know right here if I...
Are you doing the new route, or are you doing the old one?
No, I forgot the extra steps. Yeah. I'll force an encounter here, real quick.
So yeah, throughout this dungeon, you'll notice there's not 1 but 3 bosses here. The first one is this one, the Fire Gigas, which we're gonna kill off right here. All of them can be teleported away, so hopefully we'll get lucky on the bosses. They, like the Hill Gigases earlier, can be a bit of a troll, so we'll just have to wait and see. There we go. That's one done.
Yeah, and you'll see when they win in Mysidia, sometimes, depending on the runner or how many teleport tomes they have left, they can buy extra teleport tomes if they need it. Or before the final dungeon as well, if they're really, really short on teleport tomes. But generally it gives you enough, if you just buy at Mysidia.
Yeah, usually when you restock at Mysidia, you should have enough to beat the game. I think I've only once had to buy more. Although that was one of my first runs, so it was more of a safety precaution than anything else.
Yeah, if you got like 10 or less teleport tomes going in the final dungeon, it's questionable.
I don't even know, Deln, do you have, do you buy tomes in Mysidia?
Yeah, I refill on the teleports, and that's the last shopping that I'll do in the game.
Yeah,
so
not
at
too
least
out of the way.
yeah, so at least that much is similar between the both of us then.
I mean, before putting the white masks, that's when I do the shopping. But that's it. That's the last part where I'll do it.
Yeah.
I don't buy Ice Shield. So.
Okay, I did buy ice shields, but that was also the last moment I did my shopping, so seems very similar there.
I really don't need Ice Shield at that point, because you're still faster than most enemies anyway.
True.
And whenever I get the gold shield, and I'll put it on Furion, he's gonna be faster than every enemy, so it's cool.
So that wasn't absolutely horrible, so we're coming up on the second one of those bosses. This is the Ice Gigas. Same story as with all the other Gigas up to this point. We're just gonna try to teleport him away.
Definitely not a reskin.
No. Please.
No, definitely not.
Why would they do that? Why
Well,
would they
that's
reskin an enemy
Nice
into a
one
boss?
shot on the Ice Gigas. And now we're coming up on what's probably my least favorite floor. At least of this dungeon it is. There are quite a few soul encounters on this again, and you can just lose a lot of time to souls. For no apparent reason. Also, this encounter is kind of weird. It sometimes seems to be runnable, and then sometimes isn't. I'm not really sure.
So I just want to point out that this is probably my best Mysidia cave I've ever got so far.
It looks very clean, yeah.
Yeah, I only got one Souls encounter so far and one Flying Ray.
Oh wow.
And I'm on the last, second to last floor. So yeah, after those Flying Rays, there's only 2 other encounters in this dungeon. So only 2 chances to troll me, game.
Don't taunt the game.
Well, I mean, I'm missing all my teleport tomes, so I might as well just do that.
So the Mysidian Tower has 10 floors. There's only one other dungeon that has 10 floors.
Yeah,
so
that's
as you can imagine, it's quite long.
Yeah, that's so the other dungeon with 10 floors, that'd be the final dungeon. So only in Pandemonium you will get a dungeon that's actually bigger than this one. I do think Pandemonium is slightly bigger, because
It is.
yeah, there's more moving around. Like the floors themselves are bigger than this one, but
It's hard to tell. You get really bad encounters in Pandemonium.
How many floors there? Like 8, I think? 8 or 9 or something?
Yeah, you
I
have to
think we
backtrack
effectively
in
only go.
Pandemonium.
Yeah, I
Well,
think we
not-
only go through 8 different floors.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say floors, but I'm gonna say rooms, because there's a room that you enter a door, not a staircase, so...
Yeah, true.
Anyway, that was Mysidia Cave. Like, really
Very
good,
nice.
RNG. Yeah. And that's Crystal. The
The
Crystal
Thunder
Rock.
Gigas.
So
Other
that's
gigas kind of looks the same. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they all looked a bit similar, didn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they're clearly different enemies, but they did look very, very similar somehow. So yeah, that leaves 2 more floors with encounters on them for the Mysidian Tower for me. And
If I didn't know better, this would be world record pace, but I don't know, so...
I hope you're locally recording.
No.
It'll be highlighted anyway.
Yeah.
You can read time from there.
I'm gonna download the highlight and just put it on YouTube or something.
With the reset, that would be... Can you imagine?
I did too early.
The run before the reset was also really bad, so... At the same time, I'm glad that it happened, but I'm not glad at the same time, because it just put everybody else like 18 minutes behind more than it was.
Yeah, both of you guys are playing really, really well so far, so it's just like, comes down to RNG. It's like, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, Deln has had some pretty amazing RNG, and this game has not been treating me very well. But I guess that's just classic FF2. There's not much you can do about that.
Yeah, the game chooses the games that the game takes, so... The
I
game will take...
I haven't seen any major mistakes by either of you guys, so that's pretty good.
Nah, I've made a couple minor ones, but I've always managed to fix them very quickly, so... Like, I'm happy with how it's been going, at least on that... in that respect. Okay, that should do it for Mysidian Tower for me. Cool. So yeah, we finally hit the top of the tower, and this is finally where we get to see a bit of the story again. So this is we meet up with Minwu again. It's been a while since we've seen him. Let's see how he is. And it turns out he's finally been able to, or he has a spell that he can break the seal with. I don't know what he needed us for, but he can break the seal here, so that's okay. So we'll just let him break the seal for us quickly. Now it is a very powerful spell he has to cast. So well, some of you in chat may have already guessed it at this point, but the backlash of the spell ends up killing Minwu. So that's yet another character we have to say goodbye to.
Oh, Minwu, the original White Mage. I wonder if he used Ultima to open the door. That would be interesting.
I was totally Pokemon Hyper Beam.
Oh, totally. So yeah, that gets us the Ultima Tome, that one spell we spend like the past hour getting, and we're never actually going to cast. Because this game is fun like that.
There's also those other orbs in the room. They increase your stats by 10 on a random character, but they're really not worth it. Because the bottom right one is the only one that might be worth it, the agility one, but even then, you just have to hope it goes on Fairy-on.
Yeah, agility would help just for avoiding ambushes in the later stages.
This is not good. Missing everything on the worm.
Oh, bummer. You'll see that Crrool has an overworld change on the random encounters now. After the Mysidia Tower, the encounters will change. All the random encounters on the overworld are different now.
5
They're
minutes.
much harder.
6?
Usually, yeah, usually roundworm is pretty... You can do it pretty
really
fast.
easy. Yeah, but it wasn't now, so... Alright, another thing here, I'm gonna force another encounter right here on the water. Because if I don't take it right here, I'll take it in the tower, and that could mean... that could be like... not minutes, but a lot of time lost.
Yeah, all the encounters at sea are escapable. Same with the Leviathan. So you definitely want to take an encounter there.
So yeah, you may have noticed as I entered the castle here that something appeared there. There was some kind of tornado in the back. And, well, it turns out the Emperor has found a new toy that he's going to try to attack us with. He created some kind of tower inside a tornado, and he's attacking the castle with it. Because, you know, the Emperor is a good guy like that. Now, I do get one very, very particular item here that's really going to be helpful here. I get the Blood Sword. And what that does, well, I guess you guys will see by the time we get to the final boss how overpowered that sword is.
If you miss the Blood Sword in this run, oh man.
Yeah, if you don't get the Blood Sword at this point in the game, because there's only a fairly small window there where you can get it, if you forget about it, that loses a bunch of time. It's
by a bunch of time, you mean your run?
Like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, your run is over
Like,
pretty much, unless you want to grind or something.
Yeah, it's practically impossible to kill the Emperor without. So this is where we're going to get the Wyvern again. So when we use the pendant on this mirror, it turns out the egg, it's hatched. And a small new Wyvern just hatched from the egg. And well, we kind of need to get inside a tornado, so I guess a Wyvern could be very helpful to get us in there. And it also just so happens we have a Dragoon with us, because Ricard is a Dragoon after all.
Also, one thing we haven't mentioned yet is that some of the characters are right-handed and left-handed. So you notice he put the blood sword on Ricard's right hand, I think it is?
Yeah.
He's right-handed, and that just increases accuracy.
Yeah, there is actually, like, later on we'll actually have to equip it on somebody's left hand, because we end up using it with a left-handed character. So even that kind of stuff definitely matters. Okay, into the Cyclone. This is probably my least favorite dungeon in the entire game, if only for the boss. This next boss, you can easily lose 10 minutes on him if you get super unlucky, and it's a dumb boss, let me just say it like that. I'll explain why it's dumb by the time I actually get to him, but...
Yeah, I would say it's the hardest boss in the game for sure.
Yeah, definitely. This is the guy that makes or breaks runs, if not for any of the other RNG segments, which there are plenty of, sure, but this dungeon is probably the worst one.
That is really weird. I am one step ahead, and I don't know how that even happened. Oh,
didn't we figure it out by now that it's completely random?
Yeah,
I feel when even the RNG manipulation is random. That does kind of make it sound more like FF2, but...
I can just give you a small introduction into step routing. Deln did reroute pretty much the later third of the game again, and made 2 extra steps. And what happened was actually all the other encounters were 2 to 3 steps behind for no reason.
Yep, and now it still doesn't make sense that I'm 1 step behind. Well, I did 2 steps by mistake, but I'm still 1 step behind, so it's not that bad.
Oh, and
now
other encounters were still on the spot.
What's up?
And the other encounters were still on the spot.
No, it wasn't. It was 1 step behind. Yeah.
No,
like that.
when you did the rerouting.
Oh yeah, no, that was fine. That was. I'm not even questioning that.
I'm okay with this speed run.
Okay, not a terrible tower so far. The first couple floors were okay. Now that I said it, I'm probably gonna jinx it, but... Still, the first
Wood
floors...
Golem, the infamous Wood Golem.
Yeah, so the Wood Golem is... it's an unrunnable pack again, and the Wood Golem is something we can't teleport away. Most enemies we can at least teleport away, so it's okay if we get them, especially with these Royal Guards. It's not a big deal. But then there's the Wood Golem, which you can't teleport away, so you stay stuck with that one Wood Golem in there. We'll actually be fighting a Wood Golem again later, so you can see how long it takes it to kill it off.
Only problem with Royal Guards is they have a immense high magic defense.
They do, yeah. But even then, it's pretty consistent to kill them off. I generally don't seem to be struggling with it too much. Okay, so it's like a floor and a half left until the hardest boss of the game. This is where stuff is gonna go down. This is what's gonna influence a lot of the final time.
If you think the Emperor's gonna be hard, wait till you see his minion.
Yeah, the minions are the final boss, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
The true final boss.
Yeah. Alright, 2 more floors to go through.
Yeah, that's an okay fight.
That was a really decent, so far, Mistake Tower. Oh, that's really weird. So, oh, hey, confused.
So yeah, since we're about to hit this next boss, I guess I should kind of explain this fight. The next fight is actually, it's not one fight, it's 3 fights. We have to win all 3 of them, obviously. The first 2 will be fights with some Royal Guards. Not particularly bad, you know, Royal Guards, we've killed off quite a few before. So that should be okay. Or so you would think, at least. The problem is, we never get a chance to heal between 3 fights. Between any of the 3 fights. And every individual fight can ambush me. Now, if any character were to die before the actual final fight, the 3rd one, we're pretty much screwed. Well, that's like the first reset right there.
Ambush.
There we go.
If you get ambushed on the first one,
I got ambushed on the first one. That's
Yeah,
just what happens.
Alright, we're through Mr. the Tower now.
So if I get ambushed on the first try, on the first fight, it's pretty much just instant reset.
Yeah,
It's not even worth it to try. Because I need Ricard alive for the final fight, and then even on the final fight, I need to actually hit some teleports, or I could still die on the final one. I've gone into the final fight, no ambushes at all, and just wiped by the final one, because I just got incredibly unlucky. So that's the first one, but that doesn't say anything yet. Once everything but a Wood Golem is down, I can say if we've won or not. And there is an ambush. Okay, I'm gonna try to kill this off. Theoretically, I could win. But I need, like, all 3 of them away first try, and then not an ambush on the last fight.
Yeah.
2 characters is doable, but it's really hard. You have to get really, really lucky if you have 2 characters at the last battle.
Actually, if you enter the last battle with 2 characters, you cannot win.
No, you need 3 alive for the final fight to win.
Yeah, or else the golem will
Oh,
one.
that's
and
a
then,
reset.
You know.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm saying you'd have to get the first turn on top of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to, like, have everything killed except for the Wood Golem with still 2 characters
and that
alive.
really doesn't happen either.
Well,
No, it does not happen ever.
so yeah, this fight, like, this is just, there's nothing you can do about this fight, you just have to pray. Hope to get good RNG. It can take anywhere between, like, 3 minutes or something, which is what I had in my PB, where I just won, where I got first try, to like 15 minutes. And that has happened.
Bloodsword equipped, right?
Yeah, I have Bloodsword on Ricard.
Yeah, that helps a bit.
So for some reason I was +1 step for no reason. I'm just gonna take an extra step by talking to her another time. which just puts me +1 or something. I don't know. I don't know anymore. This game doesn't make sense. So I'm just crossing my finger right now and hoping that I'm still on it.
Get this awesome boss theme at least.
Well, I'm not hearing any boss themes because I don't hear the game music right now.
Well, the viewers can. I appreciate it.
True. Hey, that's a preemptive. I have never seen this fight be preemptive.
Dude, if you have a preemptive, you're really lucky, because
I've never seen one either.
Does not happen often.
No, I like it. That's
Wow.
I have never seen that in a run.
And only one teleport to kill off the
And
second fight.
yeah, true. Let's
Nice.
That's pretty good, actually.
Okay, no ambush on the final fight. If we can get the Emperor and the 2 Royal Guards out in the first 3 teleports, then we're good to go. That's the Emperor, as well as one of the Royal Guards. I just need to hit the 1 and we win. Come on, let's do this game.
Yeah, we're
Nice.
gonna split
Okay,
after
we're gonna
the
win
wood
this.
golem. After the wood golem's dead, that's when you split.
Yeah. It still takes still takes like 2 minutes before we can actually kill the Wood Golem, but...
What does he have, 1600 health or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. He's
Yeah, he
got
has
quite a lot.
of HP.
But even then, like, at this point I know I've won the fight, which is very significant, actually.
I'm just taking everything, because I don't know which one is are the correct equipment, but... So I just opened every single chest in the house. So.
I think it's top left and bottom right.
So yeah, basically what this fight is about is we just resurrect the one character he kills, and in the meantime deal damage with all of the other characters.
Yeah, Wood Golem only attacks one character. That's all he does, is just attack one character. He will never do multi-target or anything.
Alright, so I don't know where I am now in the steps. I have absolutely no clue.
The Sorcerer's random encounters pretty hard to teleport out. They have pretty high magic resist. They're one of the highest magic resist enemies in the game. But Deln's getting still pretty good luck on them, it looks like.
Yeah, they're dead. I'm gonna get another encounter actually, because that one was a forced one. Yeah, I got another one which I should be able to escape. Okay, yeah, cool.
And as you'd imagine, the Wood Golem is weak to fire, that's why he's using fire tongues.
Yeah, I'm trying to use the Blood Sword in the meantime as well, because the Blood Sword actually, you can start seeing here, like the Blood Sword deals like 400 damage to this thing, which is still like almost triple of what a Fire Tome deals.
The Blood Sword works a little differently too, compared to other melee weapons.
Yeah.
Each hit is a percentage of the boss health, so if you hit multiple times, it's going to do that same amount for however many times you hit the boss. And it also steals health as well, which is quite nice for Rickard at this point.
Okay, and that's Emperor 1 down completely.
So,
that's Emperor 1, yep.
Huh.
We got past the hardest boss. That's a start.
Oh yeah.
This is definitely the boss that I was worried about the most. Not even the random encounters, just that boss, because I have lost 15 minutes on that boss before.
Yeah, it hurts a lot, actually.
What is it, like 3 tries? That's not too bad.
No, it was like, well, there were a couple quick resets, but I think that was like the second or third serious attempt.
I'm gonna
take
the time to kill this guy, I think.
So yeah, with that, we're, well, the Emperor is dead. It's time to celebrate.
Yeah,
we can,
I'm not gonna fight the Wood Golem. Thought it would be faster, but no.
Oh yeah, if you use Blood Sword on an undead enemy, it does with the reverse effect. The undead enemy steals health from you, and that doesn't sound nice.
Yeah. Hey, roll guards. Hello.
But usually it's just the Emperor you use it on for the Blood Sword.
Obviously, we killed the Emperor. Now we have a big party.
Yeah,
and
gotta celebrate.
Question mark?
And this is me trying to run away from roll guards. Yep.
So yeah, and some guard, he comes running in, and it turns out the Dark Knight, which is our brother, declared himself the new Emperor. So the rampage and the war continue. So first and foremost, I'm going to do some equipment here, because you can forget to reset your party, like heal everybody, save and whatnot, and it's actually set me back to before Emperor 1 because I died just outside of the castle. So just not gonna risk that and just take a save there. Oh, whoops.
If you knew how many times that actually happened to me.
Deln's actually getting a little shafted on the Cyclone right now.
Yeah, I got 2 golem fights so far. Which is not
Golems just take way too long to kill for what they're worth.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna say if this is a good one, a good or a bad Cyclone, because the worst has yet to come. So
yeah, the Emperor is basically what decides if it's a good or a bad one.
I mean, if I have a first try Emperor, then yeah, this is a pretty good run so far. A really, really good run. If not, then I just get wrecked for about 15 minutes. So.
Yep, that can all happen.
He did, yo.
Okay, so we just talked to Sid, and well, now Sid died. That's yet another character that had to die in this pointless war.
What is wrong in this game? This game resolves around death for some reason.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, I mean, he did in the process decide to give us his ship, his airship. So we can at least get the airship. Hopefully, that will make the pain make it a little less painful to us.
If you ever play this game casual and you get the airship, it's like really, really cryptic where you're supposed to go next.
Yeah, it does not tell you anything. It just gives you the airship and that's it. Well, there's a way to know where to go, but
yeah, you have to talk to the NPCs and they'll tell you about that.
But
yeah, there's one or two NPCs that mention where you need to go, but it's very, very cryptic, really hard to figure it out.
Yep. Well, I don't think they tell you exactly where to go. It just tells you something about the castle, I guess, but you don't know where that is.
Yeah, you need to land the airship on a very specific tile, otherwise you won't land, and it doesn't tell you that anywhere.
Yeah. Although I guess that kind of does make sense if you look at all the other if you look at FF1 and FF3, they all had those kind of things where you just had to find one specific thing, or had to go to one specific spot and just somehow miraculously find it.
Hey, Devil Bloom, would you mind?
Devil Blooms are kind of resistant to magic too.
No, they're not resistant of anything. It's just for some reason this one does not want to be teleported. By the way,
I usually have trouble teleporting.
By the way, that's 8 attempts, and he's not dead still. Alright, wow, 9 attempts. Really?
Kill us with fire.
No. Even though I could, I don't want to. Alright, one more encounter.
How many fires does it take to kill the Devil's Bloom?
About 3 or 4.
That's 4, right?
Yeah, probably 4.
So yeah, that just got me the airship, and with that we can make for Palmacia Castle. Now, it turns out it's that little castle over here, just next to the Coliseum we were at earlier, and you need to land on that specific tile, and that gets you to 7F of Palmacia Castle. Now, this is where we're going to meet the new Emperor, so to speak, but it's a really weird dungeon. It's not as trolly as most of the dungeons we've seen so far. But there is definitely quite a bit of unrunnables, or quite a couple encounters that can be unrunnable and just can be annoying because of it. Most stuff is runnable though, especially considering most of the things we find here are things we that were unrunnable before, like that wood golem just now.
Good luck, Deln.
Yeah. Alright, and so far so good, I think. No ambush. As long as I don't get an ambush. Yeah. Oh no.
Too good to be true.
Well, Rickard's dead, so... Alright, so I have 3 characters going into the second fight.
Yeah, going into the second fight with just 3 characters alive is really annoying, because first and foremost, an ambush would just be end of story, which very often happens because ambushes are as common as they are. And even if it's not an ambush, you still need to rely on killing at least the 2 royal guards, and usually the emperor as well, before they get an attack off.
Come on, go away. Okay.
Yeah, and also you can, if you have 1 royal guard left on the royal guard encounters, you can try to revive people and hope for the best.
Alright, well, last one. And, oh, preemptive. Oh.
Nice! Deln is having the lottery luck there.
Oh, please don't say that.
Wait, did you just get preemptive on the final fight?
I got
I've
preemptive
never
on the
seen that
final,
either.
and they're all dead.
Wow.
One teleport.
First try.
Wow, that
one
is...
teleport, dude. One teleport got
I called
everyone.
it. I called it, Neuros. The lottery luck.
Okay.
That is, like, almost unheard of.
That was
I
pretty
did not
much
put
the
the
best
bot
luck he
for
could have gotten.
If
Oh,
there's
yeah,
one
that
fight you
that
wanted at, it's that one for sure.
Yeah.
Down with a god luck right there. That is incredibly lucky. Just the fact that you get first try on that entire boss fight is already very rare, let alone in the way that he just got it. So I guess this race is gonna end up coming down to Panacea then?
Yeah. So, the only reason I don't put the Bloodsword on Rickard is because two-handed I think is better than one-handed, and one-handed is better than two-handed. Or I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, one weapon.
Yeah, one-handed does more.
There we go. Because I just did a crit for 400.
If you take off the shield.
Fear. Yeah.
The only problem is if you take out the shield, you get a little less turn order. They go last in battle for the most part.
It's okay though. I don't need a shield
though,
on this guy. Yeah, I don't need a shield on that guy at all. It is. It is. But yeah, I don't use fire tones with Rickard because the fire spear deals a tiny bit more damage in some cases.
Yeah, it looks like both of you use blood swords, which is a good strat.
I didn't use the blood sword.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, I thought you said you
No,
used
I
it.
didn't. No, I did not. But yeah, Emperor's death for me, so split.
Split.
And the good news is, I'm still on minute for now. For all my steps.
Oh boy. Lamia's? Charm?
I smell like time waste.
Oh well, I ran away. That's the most important part. I mean, Panacea has been okay so far. It's one unlucky encounter just now, but other than that, it's pretty good.
But yeah, nothing is done because Pandemonium is still a major RNG part in the game.
Like, anything can still happen on Pandemonium. That is definitely one of the most random dungeons, or random places out there in this game. Like, you can easily lose, or there can easily be a difference of like 10 minutes between a good Pandemonium and a bad one.
Yeah, it's basically Chaos Shrine from Final Fantasy 1. Same deal.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, but then with a lot of encounters that you just have to reset over rather than just being able to kill them.
Yep.
And Sid just died. RIP. And by the way, I'm gonna save right now, because I don't know when my PSP is gonna decide to just die again, even though it's not plugged in, but sometimes the battery just what do you call it? Unplug itself from the socket, so...
Yeah, you definitely don't want to take any risks after you've killed an Emperor, after you've killed the Emperor, because that fight is just so horrible. Like, if you have to do it a second time, it can be very painful. I'm actually surprised neither of us got trolled that badly during that fight. I mean, granted, you got, like, the God fight, and I got just, like, a little better than average, but still, surprising neither of us got trolled too badly there.
I'm actually glad that nobody got trolled, because it's pretty horrible when you do get trolled.
Yeah, that is, like, not a fight you wanna go through like that.
You do not want to get through that fight, like, 50 times either.
Nah, you just... Like, the quicker you get rid of that fight, the better, honestly, because it's just not fun.
Alright, so I have to enter the castle at a specific tile, which is 10,900. That should be okay. Oh, well, no, it was not okay. Apparently it wasn't okay. Oh well. And now apparently I'm off by one step for no reason.
Yeah, that airship is... It's really hard to control it. Where you get this exact amount of steps, it's really hard to do it on the airship.
Well, apparently now I don't... How... Oh, what? Apparently I'm ahead?
I don't know.
Don't question it.
Oh, I tried to escape from a general. I'm good. Yeah, no, I don't...
Okay, so that gets me to the new Emperor. Emperor 2. So this is Leon, our brother. He wants to attack us, and he decides to just pick a fight with us. But before he gets a chance to, the Emperor, the one we killed earlier, resurrects from the dead and decides to try and kill us.
I would like to note that he resurrects from hell itself.
Yeah. So, well, that's bad news. But Rickard, he's gonna step in the way. He's gonna try to block off the Emperor, give us a bit of time, so that the Wyvern that we rescued earlier, he can actually come and save us here.
And you got the blood sword off?
Yeah. I triple checked that I did.
Yeah, that one you definitely want to do.
And I'm gonna equip it before I save, so that I definitely know for sure. Like, not unequipping the blood sword there is just end of run, basically, if you save over the save.
Yeah, you don't want to keep the blood sword on. And play it afterward, that's just not a thing.
So that gets us our last remaining character. This is Leon, that missing brother that we've mentioned. Okay, equip blood sword. Okay, I have the blood sword equipped.
I could still save the steps for some reason. Dang. I don't even know where I am right now. This makes absolutely no sense.
And with that, we're going to the Jade Passage. Now, this is another really interesting dungeon. Definitely not the most fun dungeon out there, but I don't mind it too much. So, generally, there's really only two unrunnables in this entire dungeon, the Blue Dragon and the White Dragon, which are both pretty rare to get.
I think there's the Green Dragon as well, but I might be wrong on that.
Isn't that in Pandemonium?
Like I said, I don't know, dude.
Yeah, you can get a Green Dragon in Jade Passage.
Yeah, I've seen so many dragons that I just don't know which one appears anywhere. They appear everywhere, so whatever.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, the dangerous part about this isn't so much that. It's it's getting ambushed by a bat pack. Like that Abyss Worm, if you get ambushed by like 5 of them, then it's pretty much a reset because they will kill you.
The Cyclone they do hits very hard.
Yeah, and even though Leon has a ton of health, it can still be really, really scary. But yeah, other than the dragons, everything in this dungeon at least is runnable, so that makes things a little bit easier. Also, you may have noticed that the blood sword that I have, it's equipped on Leon's left hand, because Leon is actually a left-handed character. Like we mentioned earlier, there are some cases where it's better to equip on the left hand, just because of that. Leon is one such example.
Alright, here's the Emperor number 2.
Little number 1, a little number 2.
Yeah.
You're right on my heels now, aren't you?
I don't know where you are, so...
I just hit like the 3rd floor in...
too far.
And Jade?
I wouldn't say that I'm that close, but...
I mean, considering there was like a 30-minute gap at some point...
I think at the end of FF1, I was around 20 minutes behind you, and then the 18 minutes I lost there. Yeah, something around up an hour. Yeah.
He caught up by a bunch.
Yeah, you caught up by a very big amount.
Yeah. I'm gonna retime it right after this run, because...
Yeah, this is potential world record pace, I think.
Yeah,
for
I really don't know, dude. I turned off my splits earlier because I was so mad. I just closed everything.
It happens.
But yeah, it's okay now.
The last shop of the game here. A hidden shop at that.
Yep.
You gotta love
There's
those
some,
ace
There's
tome.
some pretty cool stuff. There's like Death Tome and Flare and Berserk, but the only thing we use for the speedrun is Haste. We grab at least 2 of those.
At least 2 of them. Nothing left.
Yeah, at least. Yeah, and basically anything that you have left over with Gil, you buy as much as you can, just to be safe.
Yeah, because the final boss, the Emperor, he actually has a move called Slow, and if that hits Leon, you're pretty much screwed unless you have another haste tome.
Alright, Jade Passage.
Ah, there's the Green Dragon. You guys were right.
In an ambush at that.
Yep.
Okay. Save again.
Mog, get bumped on.
Yep. Although, from the looks of it, it's the other way around, more like more
We'll
than
see.
that.
You taunted the game and Deln.
Yeah, and this game is now.
Oh no. Cyclone.
Deln doesn't respond very well to taunts, you know that.
Here comes the
That's
cyclone.
true. That's very, very true.
Oh, what? Oh, they're fast. How are they faster than Maria, dude? Yeah, I just...
Yeah, there's the cyclone we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, I got double cyclone and killed. It's cool, it's cool. Actually, why are you at 1 HP? Don't be at 1 HP. Yeah, I'm getting all the encounters that can do AoE that can kill me. Like, I don't like that at all. Also, Neros, you remember when you said that nothing makes sense in this game?
Yeah.
With steps, yeah, it doesn't make sense because I entered the correct steps in the Jade Passage, but apparently I'm ahead by 2 steps. So
Nice. That's what I said earlier. When he did his rerouting, nothing made sense anymore.
yeah, nothing makes sense at all. And I'm even too scared to take extra steps now. I really don't want to. Wait, did I save 2 steps? I'm in 4 now.
Is the audio dying on somebody's here?
I don't know. I can't hear my own audio, so that makes it a
I'm trying to
little
figure
hard.
out whose it is.
Oh my god.
Don't worry about it, just keep running.
Another cyclone. Hell yeah. Wait, are you hearing something? Because I have my AC in the back that is on, so it might...
maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, I think that is.
Yeah, because chat brought it up too, and I was like, I kind of hear it too. I think it was just Deln messing with us.
Chat is mentioning game audio though. Just, I don't know.
Yeah, just keep running.
Yeah.
You guys are fine.
Yeah, just keep running, never stops.
Never ever stop.
Okay, first unrunnable, fairly late actually into the first floor. This first floor has been okay overall. Assuming we can at least get rid of this. It sounds like your game audio is gone down. Norm, you could potentially switch it to my game audio and at least make sure there's audio again.
How is my game audio gone? It cannot be gone.
I can hear
It's spliced,
Deln's
that's
audio
why.
fine.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. My audio is fine right now. I mean, I can see it on OBS. I have OBS open, and the sound is going through.
Oh wow, this encounter though, it just doesn't want to get teleported.
That Crrool is system.
Yeah, but there was a Lamia Queen there, so I can't run away. This'll do though. We got a ribbon out of that.
For some reason, I actually sorted my items for no reason. So yeah, that was the cool part of the run. No, just kidding. I just wasted like 10 seconds doing that.
Yeah, it's all under control, chat. It's all under control.
Okay, first floor of Pandemonium done. So yeah, Pandemonium can take anywhere between 12 minutes and just about forever, depending on the kind of RNG you get.
Forever is
I think
actually
the
pretty
fastest
accurate.
Yeah, I think the fastest I've ever gotten, it was 12 minutes.
Alright, Pandemonium time.
Alright, we're on the final stretch, guys.
I'll
For
go
both
as far
runners?
as I'll go as far as force an encounter here, even though that's really risky to do so. But I want to be on step for the final dungeon. Alright, there we go. And I got a really good one too that I can escape. Nice.
Come on, it's... Okay, thank you. That was a single Lamia Queen. It took me like 6 teleports or something.
You seem to forget that Lamia Queen has really high magic defense, though.
They do, but if it's just one, I feel like it's faster to just try and get rid of it.
I mean, yes, it is. Did I really? I just used fire tomes. Damn. I put my fire tomes on my first slide, and that's usually where I put teleport tomes.
You are a beast, Deln.
I was gonna kill Lamia Queens with fire tomes.
Oh, don't worry.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
It would only take about 5 hours.
Oh yeah. But since I reset and I got an encounter that I can run from. Good game. Alright, give me something good, game. Beast Demons. Alright. Wow, dude, this first floor was godlike. I got one encounter that I could now run from that I tried to kill with fire tomes, that's it.
There's one encounter that always bugs my balls. It's the Mithril Golem. I never know if I can run from it or not.
Yeah, Mithril Golems, you mean?
Yeah, the Mithril Golems.
Yeah, anything
like
with
so many
Mithril
different
Golems
formations.
you can run from anything that has a Mithril Golem in it.
No, there's one combination you can't run from.
That's news to me though.
Exactly, that's why it bugs me so much. I don't know which one it is.
Yeah, you can't see it, but there's one combination of it that you just can't run away from.
I'll try to teleport them Lamia Queens.
And you really can't teleport the Mithril Golems either, so it's like it's hit or miss if you want to try to reset or
the best way to kill them is to use Blood Sword. That's the only thing that can really damage it. So.
But that's slow, isn't it?
Really slow. I don't know, I think this golem has like 2,400 HP or something. So. And even with the Blood Sword, it still takes 16 hits, so. Anything in this game will take 16 hits. With the Blood Sword, so. Yep.
Yeah, it's always 1/16 per hit, right? Of their health.
Yeah, okay, another thing that I didn't want to do is to make Florian learn fire. Not a big deal, though.
Hey, you never know, you could use it.
Yeah, actually. I could use it. I don't know where I would use it, but I could.
Just kill Emperor 2 with fire, only?
Wow, okay, so this makes no sense. One rider with one golem, you can escape from it. Two riders and one golem, you can't. Where is the sense in this?
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's completely off. Like it's just weird how it works.
And now it's not letting me run from one rider and one golem.
Probably because of a different floor.
Yeah, I'd say it's a floor, but from the notes that I read from that Japanese guide, that's not how it works. But yeah, the guide itself could have a lot of mistakes in it, so.
Yeah, it's like we mentioned earlier, there's no runnable list that's actually correct because it's so weird.
Yeah, but I think after this, it will be really, really clear what can be escapable and what can't be.
Yeah, because it's based on like floor, the number of them, what encounter they come with, and all this other stuff. So I'm trying to remember all that's already pain in the ass as is.
It is. I think there's only three dungeons where I need to redo this encounter stuff. Is that the correct one? Oh, yeah, okay.
This turns out to be still a pretty close race.
If I'm lucky, it could be.
Yeah, I'm really, really enjoying this run, guys. You guys put on a hell of a show with this effort, too.
I mean,
Thanks.
FF2 was something last year. It's, it's definitely something this year.
We're not going to say why, but I guess a lot of people actually remember why. Why it was quite the game changer. Why am I getting the same encounter again? What the hell? And he's gonna use Blaster, is it? Nope. Okay.
Yeah, if you anybody in the chat that's played this casual, you know how hard this dungeon is.
Yeah, it is pretty hard.
See, that was another weird one. 3 beast demons couldn't run away, 2 beast demons, no problem.
What? Well, that makes a lot of sense.
It was the same tile. It was 3 beast demons at first, and I couldn't run away for 2 turns, so that's pretty much guaranteed that you can't.
Why am I getting this encounter? Like, what the hell? All the time, Lamia Queen and Crrool, like 5 of them. Where is that coming from? Also, I just noticed that I will run out of Teleport Dome really soon. By soon, I mean I only have 6 left.
Okay, I'm not that low, but I'm getting low myself
for the last floor, maybe?
Yeah. I'll probably just start resetting now.
Yeah, I've had that happen before where I came in with less than 5 and I ran out at the end, so I saved 2 for in case I got a Gigas at the end.
Oh boy, this isn't good. Well, actually, it is good, but at the same time, I got cursed. Not a big deal. I can run away, thanks. Thank you. Yeah. No, I know. Gotta wait a second. I need to.
Okay, since it was an ambush, we'll just reset.
Where is my? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think resetting is much better now. Also, Crack, there's a part here, right here.
I know. Don't remind me.
I have to tell you.
I know it's bugging me.
I told him.
I know it's there.
Oh no! What now? Reset. Yeah, no, yeah. I don't know. Every time I see you run this, every time you pass through, I'm like, why is he not going in there? Oh, he probably doesn't.
No, what really surprises me, Deln, is that you actually watched my run.
How is that even oh my god.
Okay. Just to clear it up. What Deln wants to mock on right now is there's a fake wall right before the teleporter, and neither Craig nor Nikki are using it to get into the teleporter.
Yeah. And there's another one in Mysteria Tower, I believe Crack is not using.
The ice one? Yeah, I'm not using that one.
Yeah. I figured.
It's all part of the step manipulation, of course.
Liar.
Oh my god, wow. Calling someone else liar.
I know he's lying.
It could be.
You can taste it.
You can
You told me yesterday.
Oh god. Mithril Deln. Hello, Mithril Deln. See ya. My god. I do not want to pronounce myself, but I think I have about 7 or 8 encounters left in this dungeon to go through. I don't know exactly how many, but
I just entered floor 8 if you want to know.
Yeah.
I don't know which floor that is.
You are on
the
7.
next one is like the big square.
Yeah, the square one's pretty easy. The floor 9.
And then the boss one after that. So.
Oh right.
I'm on the floor before the before last floor, so to speak.
Yeah.
All right.
So Crrool is 1 floor ahead by now.
I'll play like I understood what that meant, even though I didn't. But no, I know which. If you say floor 8, it does not mean anything to me because I don't know what the hell you're talking about. So if you say I'm on the blue floor, that's fine because I know which one it is.
Yeah, that's why I told you he's 1 floor ahead.
Well, I mean on the NES it's blue. I don't know what it is on this version, but
Can we just call it the glittery floor?
yeah, okay, that's
That'll
fine.
do.
That's fine. Or also
Literally
the
will
pillar
do.
room, you know?
Okay, floor 9. So the before last floor now.
The pillar room?
Yeah.
Oh, dang. I ran out of teleport time.
Blood sword? No,
Yeah,
I would say.
I'm just
Are you
gonna
gonna reset over that?
Yeah, I'm just
I'm
gonna
a-
reset.
I was gonna
About,
say reset would probably be best.
I'm about
Yeah.
to run out of teleport as well. I've got like 6 left or something.
Well,
Yeah.
6? Wow, that's
Yeah, you guys are cutting it close.
Well, I don't usually go that low, but you know.
Not me neither.
Can I
I'm so sorry.
Especially considering I stocked up all the way to 99 in Mysidia.
Did you get the Mysidia before the Jade Passage?
No.
Oh dear, what?
No.
Please tell me. Okay. Ooh, thank God. Yeah, I got cursed on pretty much everybody, so it's cool.
Just use a mallet.
That's your lasting random encounter, Crrool?
Yeah.
Yeah, that. Dude, I hope you're not gonna get the. Was it Greater Behemoth or something? It's called. I don't know what the name is, but.
Oh yeah, it's like the
I'm
war
in
mech
front
of
of
this
the
game.
final boss now.
It's the freaking Behemoth is. Yeah. I don't think I was ever able to teleport it.
Okay. Final boss time for me.
What?
Let's see if we
keep getting
can. That's how much we get ambushed by the final boss. So
Team
basically,
Choco, get ready.
we got all the way to the final. Oh wow, he didn't ambush me.
Team Choco, get ready. I don't know if they heard
Yeah,
about
team-
if they heard it or not. But...
And I think that counts for your team as well.
Not really. Not right now. Also,
Wait, why do I only have 2 haste tomes? I bought 4.
Well,
That's okay. I can work with 2.
how about four encounters left for me? And we in this. So far, it's a pretty good pandemonium. And by pretty good, the first 2 floors were pretty godlike.
Okay, get ready on time.
Oh no! No, why am I getting this encounter?
Iron Giant is very rare.
Yeah, and I don't know if I can actually teleport it because I've never
Okay,
actually.
Chrono, hope you're ready.
Never actually. Yeah, I'm just.
That's time for Crrool.
Well, no, almost.
Just about.
You need to sit through this animation. And that was wow, that was a low roll.
By the way, the timing ends on the final hit, so I don't know why you're waiting.
Well, I'm waiting for a starfall animation. I got a 2000
right.
roll, which didn't kill it.
2000, dang, that's
Time.
really low. Time.
GG.
So,
Sure.
wow, that was horrible. But thanks, thanks everybody for allowing me to run FF2. I guess we both got FF2'd on. You in the sense that your PSP died, and me in the sense that, well, what the hell was that run? But that's okay. We at least didn't finish an hour apart this time.
Oh, that's good. And now, dude, well, I don't know about that yet. It's not over for me yet, so I still have 5 encounters to get through.
So,
And-
Chrono, I'm assuming, because
Not
I can't
nice,
hear
but-
you right now, I'm assuming you're going?
I should be, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
his
cool.
right side.
My ears.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was
Down
really
there.
loud for some reason.
Yeah, thank you,
Oh.
Crrool and Deln, for having me on commentary. Like the
Hey,
last minute almost.
It's not
My
over
pleasure. You go finish up FF2 with Deln,
yet.
and
Why am I getting Iron Giant?
thank you to all the organizing staff and to everybody involved for having me. That was a lot of fun. And thank you, Deln, for racing me, I guess.
Yeah, I think my game is glitched. I'm just getting Iron Giants now. That's
Yeah, right at the end, Deln.
hello, hello. Oh, thank God for an ice guy. I was about to reset. All right, about. I'm not gonna say done because it's not done. Still have the final boss.
Yeah,
get
it's the Thunder Gigas you can't run away from. The other 2, right, you can run away from?
Yeah, fire and ice you can run from, not thunder. Alright, 2, no, why am I saying 2? 3 encounters to get through. One right here, one in the pillar room, and one in the final room.
So yeah, right now in FF3 there isn't really that much happening, so we won't bother explaining stuff until we get a better chance to. but pretty much the main thing in the first dungeon is not getting messed around by land turtle. There's a couple of encounter skips, which we'll explain more in a little bit. If you see him randomly open the menu and use a potion, that's probably why.
Alright, 2 encounters to go and then final boss. Alright, I'm gonna say 1 encounter now because this encounter I'm gonna run from it now. And Ice Curse. Alright, final floor. Still can't believe how close I was. Dude, it's not over yet.
I know, that's why I say good luck.
Hey, thanks. 2 steps before the Emperor, and it's a Police Dragon. Hello there. It's okay though. This one just doesn't have more magic defense as the others anyway. Okay, he's in. Alright, final boss. Final boss time. Alright, just prepare myself mentally for what's about to happen.
The blood sword is the only thing that remotely hurts the Emperor, so that's why we use it here.
Yeah, I'm gonna remove armors from this guy for no obvious reason. It does not really matter if you do or not. But I feel more safe with that. Alright, here we go. I got 4 Ace Dome in case I get slowed. And I got slowed on the Furion. That's not too bad.
Ambushed. Yep.
Defend and attack. Alright.
Yeah, slow doesn't matter except for Leon. If it gets on Leon, that's bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad because I just had to use Ace twice and everything would have been fine.
I had to reset because I got the lowest possible Southwind roll.
Wow.
What?
I had a Southwind for 21 damage, so...
It happens.
Wow, dude. He blinded Leon, but that's fine. Oh, and what? I'm gonna use another one just in case. I just missed.
That was really weird, yeah.
I don't
know.
know.
Did the blind before? I don't know.
Probably not. Ah, there we go. 4 hits. Alright. Good stuff. Keep going with your melee attacks. All good, dude. I'll take that any day.
Yeah, he's just like Chaos in FF1 where he has kind of cycles, rotations of attacks he does.
Oh no, this one just goes for anything. This one goes for anything.
Yeah, but he won't use, what is it, Starfall first, I think it is?
Yeah, he could do that.
I think that's the only difference between
He could do that and screw me over, but it's okay though. I think.
I got the worst possible luck. I hit the lowest possible roll I could in Southwind, and then he hit the same character 3 times in a row for very high damage.
Oh my god, what is going on? Why are you cursing this person every time? Also, decrease your damage by a lot, so... Yeah. Well, damage and attack, number of hits. But he's doing Starfall now, and I hope to god that I'm gonna do 7 or 8 hits to kill him. Because everybody's gonna die, except Leon, I think. Oh, and character as well. Oh, he's dead. Alright, time.
Time.
GG.
Go.
I'm not sure.